I don't have one.
It's right there.
I do have one. All right.
Oh, yeah, you got coasters, too.
Oh,
this is a fancy-dancy.
They're literally nitro cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
And beer.
From Guinness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were fucking with me.
No.
Because I was like, dude, I think I need some caffeine before we get started. And you're like, yeah, I got you coffees right here. And I was like, Jordan's little joke because...
Oh, not very funny, asshole. He didn't want to say anything. He just smiled and walked out the door. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, dude, because everybody always says Guinness has like, I don't know, kind of a coffee undertone to it or something.
Sure.
Yeah. This one definitely does.
This one's legitimate, huh? Okay.
But you know what?
Ooh, hear that widget? That's my favorite part of Guinness right there.
If you take and dump that coffee out, one of these fits perfectly in there, and it looks just like coffee.
Yeah.
The cops won't pull you over.
This is absolutely delicious.
It's
Hang
phenomenal,
on. If
right?
it has a widget, does that mean it has to be poured?
No, the widget.
Traditional Guinness, you have to pour it so it can mix.
So the widget, like when you crack
Releases
it,
the
it
nitro.
releases the. Is that exactly nitrogen?
Yeah,
Is that what it's
yes,
doing?
yeah.
But we're going to talk about the science of the Guinness when we don't understand the science of Guinness.
Let me read the
I
instructions.
feel like I
on
got
the
a good
side here.
understanding. Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, bro. It is always better when it's on tap.
Yeah.
So maybe
That's all beer.
I think it's supposed to be poured.
you might be right.
You are.
All right, well,
you're
we're
supposed to pour it, but here we are.
I'm hanging out with the enlightened Neanderthals, and we're just being degenerates.
I got
dude.
a couple empty Miller High Life cans we could
Yeah, cut
pour
into a...
into.
Pour in there.
Perfect.
Man, it's even kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Holy
it's
shit,
great.
we're recording.
Yeah, of course we're recording, dude.
Right on.
I thought we were still bullshitting before the show.
Well, that's when you always have to push record because some of the best content is for people that don't know they're being recorded.
Now I'm going to climb up. Everybody get serious.
Well, you guys record every week with
This
on
is
the
the endless endeavor. You got to be very serious and angry.
Yeah.
what episode of Enlightened Neanderthals are you guys on now?
43.
That's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And has it been every fucking week? Is that
Well,
Pretty damn
we missed
close.
a few like over the holidays, but
okay? Shame,
it's
shame
life.
on you, dude.
Nah, it's life. That's us though. It's like this is weird having 3 different people setting aside time to get together.
to get all 3 of us in one
Yeah.
room every single week and let's be honest, a 2-hour
That's tough.
show takes us 5
Yeah.
hours to
Yeah,
record
that's
because
tough.
we take breaks and we smoke joints and then like you guys the conversation that happens at the pee break, a lot of times it's like, damn it, we should have been recording that.
Yeah.
But we walk out of our studio, you know?
We should just get headphones with little transmitters.
So I can tell the Neanderthals are used to mics where the top is the recording window.
Oh shit.
On those ones, it's the front square.
Okay, hang on.
So you might have
Dumbasses.
to adjust it a little bit. But no, like Skylar was talking into that one the other week, and I could barely hear him. I was like, dude, talk in the top. I'm like, oh, okay. Your guys are
Say it with your
the
chest,
opposite.
Skylar. I saw him out there get blast doubled
Is that
earlier.
better? Oh, that is better.
Yeah, it's way better. Yep.
There we go.
You got to be right up on those ones.
Yeah, right up on them. I'm gonna get the Shure 7 soon, like the nice ones that just you drill a hole in the table and then they live
like
here.
like an articulating arm.
Yeah, it's time, bro. It's only been fucking 3 years.
Yeah,
so.
I think you have
great.
a legitimate podcast. You can now.
It's crazy you saying it's only been 3 years, but it's like you have a room with like fan art dedicated to it.
Dude,
And
it's-
it's like the amount of
yeah.
stuff in that time, like we're getting
is
close
cool.
to a year. And it's like it's nuts how the show's kind of developed its own culture, like consistency, mentality. There's just a unique thing that sets in, and it's resonated
It
with
started
you and
fun
your
and it's
fans.
gotten funner.
Yeah,
Is where it's at.
Well,
And
dude, a podcast is inevitably going to become almost like its own entity, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, like we were talking about when you first started, about like how many downloads you get. Like, obviously, you want the show to grow, you want it to be
many.
successful. But I'm saying, like, if you're getting consistent downloads, that means there are people out there that want to consume you.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and
that's
there's-
fascinating. It's cool.
There's
you
been
know?
enough messages from people who are like legitimately expressing that they look forward to Friday morning, their commute. Like they're like, you guys are now the ones we look forward to. Like I can't Friday morning. I want to open it up and see what these 3 boneheads are talking about.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I just listened to, I forgot, we were texting a week or two ago and I was listening to you guys, and it's your guys' podcast is very much like, hey, I'm sitting at a table with these guys and we're having fun and we're bullshitting, but also going through, like, sometimes it's serious topics. Sometimes it's, it's like real life, but still you just pull up a seat at a table to real life.
Yeah.
And I think that is the art that people enjoy.
Yeah.
You know,
and what we're recording is not different than, if you were sitting, 20 minutes ago, we were sitting at the picnic tables outside the gym. The conversation was no different than it's not a staged thing. It's just the way it is.
And dude, like, I just saw a thing talking about like the percentage of adult men that have nobody they consider a close friend.
I've been bumping into more and more people like that. I guess maybe through Training Northwest, and it makes me sad when I actually think about the fact that as I'm running into more people like this, like holy shit, there really are, because we live in our bubble where I've always had close friends from sports in high school to the Army to mountain bike racing to now the jiu-jitsu gym. I've always been doing something that has kept me in a tight social group.
But all those things that you just mentioned required you to kind of go out there and do it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is where the circles are found, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And now we live in a society where most people are sucked into their phones 24/7, me included. Like I'm addicted to that thing and I despise that thing all at the same time. It's very similar to a woman. But like, fuck, man.
You get sucked right in there.
If you don't take the time to build a community that's of decent, like-minded people, you inevitably just get sucked into the fucking toxicity that is Twitter and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but it doesn't even necessarily have to be like-minded, because there's like things that like Mike will say that I'm like,
shared struggle.
But I also know that Mike is never coming from a place of like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's nice to have like people that have a little different flavor.
Yeah.
But they can.
I guess when I say like-minded, it's not like a bunch of clones of each other like 2nd Ranger Battalion was for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to have like much diversity and conversation and opinion and stuff. It's like, we all want guns, we all want to get drunk, and we all want to fuck hot chicks. Yeah, and if you don't like that, fuck you.
My people.
Never mind. I love those guys.
But also, the older you get, it's... I say it all the time.
You're
like,
also 19 years old and you don't have any life experience to fall back on. So you're literally just thinking about the things that are interesting to you at that moment.
Yeah. But like the Jiu-Jitsu Academy is... Fuck, man. There's a million,
we got a guy for that.
Personalities.
We got a guy for
there.
that. Yeah.
You know?
Just before you guys got here, Jordan and I were sitting here watching all the Sunday night Nogi guys walk in and commenting on like, well, here's this eccentric personality. Oh, here comes this guy. Look at this. You know what I mean?
Look at
like
this jackass. And they're like,
but it's all these different like weird personalities who all show up here and who are all best friends.
yeah.
And have your fucking back.
And it's really fucking fun to watch.
Yeah, but I think that also goes back to like liberty, and liberty is openness. And even though you guys are in these Ranger community and high speed kind of guys, you two are both fucking hippies. And I think hippies and like libertarians having, as long as you be you, you can be you if it's not affecting me in a negative way.
Nathan said that after we got back from deer hunting, or actually I think it was on the way home as we're driving home. He goes, I kind of like that, like you and Greg and all your friends, like you're not what other people's dads who are veterans are like. You guys are kind of like hippies, but you're also tough.
Bro, being a hippie and being tough, those things should not be mutually exclusive. That's a myth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's being open,
Like,
openness.
that's what I'm saying. But like, there was a time when it's like, oh, if you want to question your government, that's just because you're a long-haired hippie. You know, like you're a weaker person because you didn't agree with the Vietnam War. You know what I mean? And hippies started to get some negative connotations. Bro,
Started when they didn't shower.
there's a bunch of savage fucking hippies right
Now.
out there on those fucking mats.
Now, yeah.
You know how much tie-dyes on that mat right now?
Man, it's cool though. But like, no, it's exactly what you say though. Like, because sure, when we discuss social matters, like you and I especially lean conservative on things, and people start to think we're these.
I really
like,
don't. Here's the
these
thing, I
radical right wing wackos, and it's like, dude, I don't even know if you guys know this, but we had a transgender kid training here for a while. Like, guess what? I didn't care, and I didn't have to. The one thing that I was concerned about, it was a female that wanted to be a little boy. And so
They all get choked out the same.
They all get choked out the same. But little boys, and I shouldn't say little boy, she was like 18 in adult class, right?
Okay.
So if you're an 18-year-old girl telling this team you're an 18-year-old
White
boy,
belt Bob coming at
that's
you.
what I'm saying, right? But bro, that was on her to decide, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, this is what it is.
Freedom.
But guess what? You're also welcome here, and I'll be nice to you because you're a nice person. You're being nice to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and the thing is too, she didn't come in and was like,
Expect
he's,
special
he's
treatment.
dead. He's
Yeah.
dead naming her because she goes by he now. Okay, I'm sorry.
What the fuck did you even just say?
You've heard that, right?
No.
If they go by he now, and I refer to her as a her, that's like disrespectful or something.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, I didn't even know any of this. I just happened to know, basically, like a family friend that kind of gave me a little heads up on the situation, right? But I don't care either. And here's an interesting thing. When Will came in here, and he talks about it on a podcast last week's episode that hasn't dropped yet. He's like, bro, when I walked into your academy as the only brown guy, like, I was nervous.
Me too.
For him. No, and he goes like, because like our culture has like my whole life kind of been like, hey, white man's the enemy. White man wants to keep his thumb on you. White man wants to keep you down. And he goes, and then I walked in the room and like literally I'm the only fucking brown person in the room. And then he goes, and I realized like, man, you guys literally don't give a shit. And I said, not only not give a shit, it didn't even register in my brain. Like, hey, who's this new guy? And look at that dark skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even register. I was like, Will, that's not, and I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but they try and paint the picture that it exists everywhere. And no one that I'm friends with gives a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but even someone like Will that we consider a friend, we all have a relationship with, he felt it a little bit, you know, that's like, hey, this narrative's been pushed so hard
Interesting.
Yeah.
that it took me a while to realize, like, hey, like these dudes are fucking down with me and I'm down with them.
Yeah.
To the point where even he started getting some pushback from his communities. Like, oh, you used to come and drink with us. Now you hang out with them.
Stupid
Like,
white guys.
yeah,
really?
dude,
Oh,
you know?
shit.
But it's like he had to realize something. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter
But we love him.
who people are
Yeah.
culturally. It matters like if the people to your left and right want to uplift you. And he's like, man, as soon as I started hanging out with you guys, I started eating cleaner. I started going to the gym. I started taking my role as a jiu-jitsu guy more serious. He's like, everything started to change when I invested in
leveled
spending time with people that are on a path to being better,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe one day the gym will even have a black person.
Let's not get carried away. This is like Steve.
Hey, Jesus.
Man, everybody, and that's the thing, man. And Foulke knows this, man.
We're actively recruiting if anybody knows one.
The truth is the biggest racism that I ever experienced in the military or law enforcement was literally us just busting each other's balls, dude.
Oh.
Coming up with the most racist shit we could find to make fun of Daryl Brown. You know what I'm saying? And then he'd say the fucking shit right back to us. Same thing when I was like a cop, dude. I never saw any of it with any real like racial undertones. It's just like, dude,
Yeah.
the guys on my team are
I've
Mexicans,
probably-
and I can make fun of you for that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
At some point, it's endearing.
yeah,
You know?
no, it's,
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
if
the
they're not
reality-
busting your balls, that's
Yeah.
when you need to be worried.
yeah,
Yeah.
The reality is, if you don't talk to the people I don't like, are the people I do not talk to at work. If I don't say a word to you at work, that's when you know I don't like you. If I walk up and I'm like, "What's up, Beaner?" That means we're bros.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And everybody, the reality is, people will hear that and be like, "Oh, we can twist this and record this and put it on Instagram and make him sound bad." But every fucking man knows that that's how we talk to each other.
that's how we fucking talk to each other, dude.
And I actually feel really lucky sometimes that I work in construction, because I think it's one of the very last places in America where you can be like masculine on the job site and not get in trouble for it.
Well, bro, and I on the episode of
I couldn't imagine working in an office cubicle environment right now and having to be politically correct. day in.
Oh
and
my
day out.
God.
It's impossible.
HR every afternoon.
It would be the worst.
You'd be in detention after
But
work.
would you even
every
know?
day.
Like, say you started in that environment when you're 24 years old, right out of college.
Just don't
And-
say femininity.
Yeah, feminine.
I can't even.
Yeah, I can't even say it.
I feel like you'd have like a bullet drop chart on your wrist of pronouns
No,
just to
but
get
I'm
along with
saying,
people.
say your life experience was different. So that coming out of high school, what if I had gone to college and not become a ranger and then gone into that cubicle world where all you know is political correctness and you're sort of socially isolated because you can't be yourself and nobody around you can be themselves. You don't actually know the people who you interact with day in and day out because you're all fake for the sake of being politically correct. And that is one of the reasons why people are emailing Greg and saying, I have no friends, I have no connection, I have no community, because nobody is fucking real. They're all suppressing their thoughts because they're afraid of getting in trouble with the fucking woke thought police.
And the irony of all this is 95% of people are walking on eggshells because of the 5%, which includes a fraction of a percentage of actual like people that are part of a minority community or people that are part of like LGBTQ. It's a small fraction of white Karens that are looking to get offended over anything. And now everybody else walks on eggshells for a few of them in the office.
Because they're a bunch of bored-ass housewives. They got nothing better to do than walk around the HOA and write fucking notices because Steve's yard is too long, and they have no purpose in life.
Bro, I got a fucking photograph of my boat mailed to me from the HOA saying, you can't have boats in your driveway. And it's like, dude, not a knock on the door, not a, hey, what's up? Like,
who took the time?
And bro,
Send an email.
It's
Yeah,
easier
exactly.
to
How many emails went around that like, hey, Greg Anderson down at house number whatever, he's got a boat parked and there's like 6 of them. They're like, okay, somebody go take a picture and then we'll file a report with the board and then we'll send him an email with a pic. We'll walk. No, I don't want to walk it down there. Are you kidding me? We'll send him an email with a picture of his boat in his driveway and tell him he needs. It's like, what the fuck? Do you not have real problems?
I know, bro. But dude, that's why like I've been talking about last couple of weeks, the Forge Ferocity online accountability network that I'm building. It's exactly for this.
Start beating up HOA presidents.
No, because bro,
That's one of the fucking workouts.
recruiting's through the roof.
when we sit down and have weekly team meetings like this, they're going to be rooted in reality, and you can have fun and you can laugh and you can say things that are a little off color. Like I'm
Drink a few beers.
Dude, yeah.
Talk a little shit.
I have people that are like, I'm sure you guys.
What did Susan say at the water cooler this week?
You guys have probably got this too,
Fucking
where
bitch, I
people are
hate her.
like, "Hey, bro, I love your show, but man, be careful because you're pushing, you're starting to encroach on that line, and I
then
don't
what?
give a
What
fuck,
line?
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, let's
Well,
encroach on that
fucking
line.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired of the line.
You've already had the FBI knocking on your door saying, "I need to talk to you about a
we need to talk to you
YouTube
about
video."
a YouTube video. Fuck you.
You were so nice to them, dude.
They did catch me off guard, and
Well, that's what they want to do.
Yeah. So I didn't roll over. I was thinking more from a like, they're trying to entrap me. They're trying to get, because the female kept asking me questions like,
What a bitch.
yeah.
How was
yeah,
Epstein's Island?
Shouldn't you be at home raising your children? She kept asking me things like, what was your mindset when you were headed to this ambush point? I was like, what? I didn't head to any ambush point. I talked about hypothetical situations on a camera. And so, she asked me probably 5 or 6 questions
Like
along
digging.
those lines. And
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, I said, I think these are what you call leading questions, and you're trying to put words into my mouth. And
Yeah, because when they fucking prosecute you for,
Yeah.
you know, spinning up an insurgency,
Exactly.
they can say, well, you know, when I talked to him in 2022, he was of the mindset of, you know, and then like that I'm really fed up with the government and I just want to attack them, or, you know.
I'll give you plenty of ammunition. You don't need to go like lead me into it. Trust me.
So-
I say plenty of shit that they could use against me if they wanted to. And one of the funny things is that
It is half our listeners, though. So
yeah, I know. But you know what? They're required to listen, and they're probably charging the taxpayers overtime to do it. So.
Downloads are downloads.
that's what we're saying. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. We keep saying.
The last year and a half, as I've legitimately gone from being atheist to being spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
But as you start to become more like, as you find your spiritual center and you start to not like truly not care about things like death, it's not even a concern. What's more of a concern is not living on my terms. Yeah. And then you start thinking about authorities and how the government or any entity you want, like whoever has authority over you. And you say, it's only because I let you. And so more and more I'm realizing that I just do things that I want to do, and I don't ask permission. I don't give a fuck if the state requires a license. I don't care if there's a fee for that. I don't fucking care, because I no longer respect their authority. They have so abused their authority that it is no longer respected by me, and I'm not going to give them the honor or the respect of obeying their rules. I just do whatever the fuck I want.
And bro, that's not being like a revolutionary or fucking like.
I'm just trying to be reasonable.
I'm just trying to be me.
It's now more reasonable to say fuck it and do what I want than it is to try to jump through all these hoops and realize that they'll never, that like there's an intentional diminishing of someone who's trying to make their own life. They do not want you self-employed and sort of self-sufficient. They want you dependent on, or they want you in financial slavery and dependent on systems and handouts.
100%. And anytime you say anything that would make someone just take a step back and be like,
or even try to do anything, like, again, trying to get Training Northwest up off the ground and start a business, and you just run into like, you know, red flag after red flag, dead end, file this. Yeah, and it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm just going to go run this business and not ask permission.
Well, let me get it off the ground before you guys start trying to fucking weigh me down.
But they don't want it off the ground, because then you become self-sufficient.
And bro, not only like in our case, it's tons of red tape with the county and with the state.
You know, those are the white men that the black guys are talking about.
Will.
That's right. Those motherfuckers, not us.
Yeah, but one time I remember you saying, Tobin, that like America is at a big lack of innovation at the moment because it's due to restrictions.
They stifle innovation with all these restrictions.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder what, like, maybe the United States
think about
could be
what, think about what came out of California when California was the idealistic California, not what it is today. 1975 California, when it was a liberal mecca because there were no restrictions.
Yeah.
If you were you were Carroll Shelby and you wanted to build the baddest ass car that had ever been created, and you didn't want to deal with government restrictions, you went to California and built a Shelby Mustang. And now it's the complete polar opposite of that, where if you want to be Mike Kozak and
start a lawnmower,
start a Mexican food truck,
tax for carbon
that sells weed out the back.
Strictly fentanyl. I know what's in demand right now.
Now you've got to pay 16 different licensing agencies and have 4 inspections. You know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on.
And where the thing that sucks about this is it's the frog in the pot analogy.
Yes.
Because this has been going on for probably 5 decades.
Yep.
To where now, if I want to start a jiu-jitsu gym in my backyard, which is what this place is, fuck, you can't do that.
Constant battling.
You can't do that.
Exactly. Think about that.
Well,
to teach people how to roll around on a mat in the evenings in your own property has become this giant hurdle.
That's going to cost me so much fucking money, dude.
Why? Why does the government need to restrict people coming to Greg's backyard to roll around on a mat?
Well, that's the thing.
And you know what they kept saying to me? Because they want to act like, oh, look, we got the community's best interest. He's like, well, what if you were Costco? What if my aunt had a dick? She'd be my uncle, motherfucker. I ain't Costco. This is a one-man business teaching you. What if you were, well, you know, the reason that we can't just allow things like this, Greg, because what if you just wanted to put Costco in the backyard of your house? And it's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
But that's not what we're talking. Yeah, exactly. That's not.
Well, there's no nuance, right? No. You start looking at it from, because I get where they're coming from
with the Costco analogy, yeah.
When you start to backwards engineer this whole thing, you go, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, oh, at one point you guys needed to put a restriction on something for this, and then that person didn't want to lose their job, and because they moved it down the line for another guy, and then next thing you know, there's so many different people things have to go through to actually get to a point where we can have a place like this that they think everybody needs to fucking put their hand on it, and they don't.
And they get to tell you what to do.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They want to because they want to validate their
job
existence.
because they need to keep their jobs. Yes. So and that's what happens.
And as soon as they see someone, because, bro, I'll show you the list. Jenny typed out an annual income.
List of fees?
No, the annual income that Electric Jiu-Jitsu generated from 2015 until last year. And it didn't break 20 grand for fucking 6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought all business owners were rich.
And so notice that it wasn't a big deal when Electric Jiu-Jitsu was making 300 or when it was making fucking 20 grand.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's making over 200, fuck yeah, let's get him.
Let's get in.
Right?
Price bracket.
And they literally said to me verbatim, well, here's the deal, Greg. It's just getting a little too big. I said,
what the fuck?
I said, I was in law enforcement for a long time, and I know when you're talking about anything with any legality, any legal purpose, that verbiage is important. Okay. So you can't just call me and say I'm a little too big. Am I allowed 50 cars a night on my property? Is 51 where it now encroaches on a little too big? They couldn't answer it because there's not anything. Yeah. They keep it arbitrary. So it's always moving the goalpost to suit whatever their current needs are. Yep. And it's insane, dude. Yep. It's insane.
Bro.
Like, they listen too, by the way.
Well, bro, it also like, oh, I know that. I know that. Yeah. I know.
Because those motherfuckers, when I talk to them.
Between the DHS, FBI, and the county, this is like 60% of our listenership now.
Yeah.
Isn't that so weird?
Like all my 2024 sponsors re-upped, so thank you. Thank you for that. No, but I think about it like to take my boat out on the water, it has to be registered with the county. So now they own the ocean.
No more.
Why does the government own the ocean?
Yeah, no, they don't. They fucking don't.
Or how about to go out into the mountains? You got to have a forest parking pass, and you have to have a whatever recreation pass for the mountains.
Yeah. Well, like, hang on. This is what people need to realize when they hear us saying this: is that when you say it's literally a racket, this is a mob protection scheme. They're literally telling you, we won't beat you up and throw you in a cage if you pay us a fee to go for a hike.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you want to take your family boating and go catch some salmon for a day? If you pay us a fee, we won't take your boat away from you and impound it.
That's right, dude.
And that's literally what it comes down to. It is a racket.
I'm fucking sick. Like when people try and defend it and be like, well, the state maintains the roads. How much more of my tax dollars do they need to maintain the road?
$40,000 to get a few miles of the road taken care of.
You know,
here's what is starting, I think, to happen is people are starting to wake up to the fact that there's a whole, and maybe it is the generation of us who fought over in the Middle East are starting to look around and go,
we don't live in a free country.
Make me,
motherfucker.
Yeah. Because I walk her every time I see a police officer out of their car now, I'm eyeballing them because I want to know. And I told these guys, but I walked out of a grocery store in Marysville 2 weeks ago. And here's a cop out of, I can't even say his or her car because sexually androgynous with the physicality of a 14-year-old boy. And I thought, imagine this person walking up to my driver's window and being like, I need you to step out of the car. And I say, I'm not going to do that. Sir, I need you to step out of the car. If I do, one of us will die here on this roadside.
Bro.
And I've got a pretty fucking confident feeling it won't be me.
And I think about that shit almost daily, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, 10 years in the profession. Congratulations. You're now the enemy.
Yeah.
And dude, like they did, I've said it on the show a million times. Most police officers are good motherfuckers, right? Yep. But what they're doing is they're purposefully diluting
they're
recruiting.
Good-hearted people who are easily controlled. They want to believe they're doing something good.
Well, I would
because
say
they have a good heart.
Especially over the last couple years.
Well, COVID.
But they tell them, hey, you are on the as long as someone is reinforcing to them, hey, you're on the right side, you're doing the right thing. They don't dig deep. They don't think for themselves. They just appreciate the affirmation, and they move forward. Like even if they kind of know it's a thin veil, like they're saying, yeah, they're like, okay, no, I believe I'm doing the right thing, even if there's that thought in the back of their brain that's like, hey, you should pay a little closer attention. They're like, no, we're doing the right thing. Our boss said we're doing really well.
And my check cleared.
Exactly. Yeah.
70% of the armed forces are obese right now.
Yeah, I know. So hang on. So those same people, the same people who they're relying on to be the enforcers, who have that sort of like that little feeling in the back of their mind, but the front of their brain is saying, no, you're doing the right thing. You're being affirmed for this. The moment they run up against people like you and I imagine 30 of us who just said, fuck off. The moment those people who don't have true conviction, because the people on our side have true conviction, and this is the power of the true believer, right? It's why the Taliban, after 20 years of war with us,
are victorious.
Precluded by 20 years of war with fucking Russia. Guess who's in power in Afghanistan in 2024? Because they were true believers. And when you're a true believer, you have staying power because you don't give a fuck. There is nothing for you but death or winning.
Fuck yeah,
and
dude.
When the little yes men are told to stack up on your door and there's 30 true believers in that building, they're all going to go, hang on a minute. I think I got COVID today, boss. Don't think I'm going to make this one. And that's more and more. So I'm circling all the way back around again. I think people are waking up to the fact that we have a lot of power in our conviction and in our numbers. Yeah.
More power than they've ever imagined.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point, like I always bring up the Christopher Dorner example, who was a former cop that just kind of went postal. He had his fucking Office Space moment where he's just like, fucking, I'm done. Right?
Just started
Beat
shooting
the
like
Xerox
when you
machine.
say postal started shooting or
Yeah, I went and started shooting people.
oh shit.
And bro, it was when I lived in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
From fucking Los Angeles to Big Bear along the 91, San Bernardino County, LA County. Like, bro, cops were so fucking scared. You can look this up.
Oh, yeah.
They were
Yes, I
shooting
remember.
into
This I
they were
remember.
shooting into cars that just matched the description.
Yes.
Bunch of Asian women,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah,
got
bro.
hit. Yeah.
And they didn't even get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because, bro, we're trying to get Christopher Dorner today.
Authorized force.
Yeah, authorized force, dude. Sorry that I didn't ID a target and I just shot into the wrong car on multiple occasions.
Miss Kim.
But you guys don't understand. There's a madman out there, and I watched it shut LA down.
Yeah.
And that's one dude.
Remember
with-
the DC sniper too?
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah.
And these are fucking cheese dicks, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like without even really a plan other than I'm just gonna go out and cause some chaos.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't strategic, it wasn't tactical, and you can shut down entire cities. Like, this is what I see happening though. I think I was actually talking to someone about this morning because he sent me a text message and said, dude, I feel like you worry about a lot of things. It's like, motherfucker.
I don't worry about
I don't
much.
worry about anything.
I know.
Yeah. Let's be very clear. I'm not worried about a motherfucking thing. But I think this summer the grid goes down.
I hope so. You know what? I had this thought.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so too.
Because
No.
I was over at Jen's house the other day, and it's like the kids are on their tablets and playing their fucking PlayStation, and
Sounds cool.
yeah, I was like,
That sounds
Nice.
fun.
this is
Chill
you know what I
little
mean. I don't
afternoon.
hang out with them that often, and so when I do, it's like, hey, let's play Uno or let's play a board game or something, so that we can converse and
Some
interact.
physical world
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and it's like they just want to be on their screens, and I was like, you know what? I kind of hope the fucking grid goes down so that everybody can get off of fucking Facebook and get back to sitting out in the fucking yard
Yeah.
and
Yeah, but-
talking to each
But
other.
bro, here's the thing. We've reached the point now. Society has reached a point where we're so dependent
Oh, I know.
on
I
the
know.
on the
I know.
grid that when it does go down,
Oh, I'm aware that most people will die.
90% in
I just want
30
me and my
days.
I just want me and my
30
kids.
days, they say.
so this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan.
Oh, I can't.
Is I'm literally going to recluse. Like go out to the property, focus on building. we're going to have two things. We are going to have a fucking 100. There will be security 100% of the day active in our fucking predetermined positions.
Yep.
24/7 round the clock security, challenge and pass. And if you get it wrong, you're taking one to the dome, dude.
Clapped.
Sorry. Right. But I don't want to push outward at all. I don't want to go on fucking like HK, go. Let's go after these guys. Oh, it's our time to do whatever we want. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to recluse for literally 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fucking let the cities, all the inner cities are literally going to eat themselves. Yeah. Like
here's
our
the
problem
other
is
thing
going to
that's
resolve
be
itself.
though, is you won't know.
No,
Because
you're right.
If the grid goes down, all communication other than very close range will probably cease for a long time.
But it depends on how the grid goes down.
Yes.
If it's a situation like the Metcalf attack, you know, where they'll attack substations or something like that, or something of that nature. Which, hey, let's be honest, there's plenty of people in this country who we don't know about are here.
Yeah.
That could do that if they wanted. Something like that happens, then there's going to be communication, right? Because then we're going to have electronics, we're going to have all the stuff we need to have communication or charge batteries or have our little electronic situations. But if there was a EMP that happened,
everything's out.
Everything's screwed.
Yeah.
So it depends on which the grid down
A
situation.
global EMP that can't be recovered from.
Yes.
Just to keep my kids off their fucking video games.
You're never gonna know what Zelda does at the end level, motherfucker.
Back to the fucking Stone Ages.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll thrive, dude.
Yes. I think that we would all be so much happier living like pre-industrial.
100%. It's good.
Turn of the century.
And I've
1900s.
even told my kids this verbatim. I'm like, you're gonna be hungry sometimes. You're gonna be cold sometimes. On Wednesday night, you're not going to Chipotle. We're grilling banana slugs. Ew, I'm not eating slugs. Yeah, I bet you ain't eating slugs.
Don't.
You know?
We'll see what's for
our
breakfast
property
in the morning.
just doesn't have
probably be banana slugs.
It doesn't have a lot of squirrel. It is what it is, right? Yeah. And then we adapt to that. We build our fucking cabins. We learn to fucking like read the waters and fish the streams and the river. And like we start to live life how life is supposed to be lived. Yeah. Then we go on the offensive and we sweep across the country like Alexander did when he took over the Persian Empire, bro.
Yeah. Ride an elephant.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen that new Alexander series on Netflix?
No.
So it's one of those series. I don't know if you guys like these. They're literally my favorite, where it's half a movie and half historians talking to you about the battles.
Oh, it's like a docu-series.
A docu-series, yeah.
Okay.
It's like a new thing. The first time I watched that, I was like, oh, get that bitch off my screen. I'm watching a movie, right? And now, bro, what I've realized.
Fucking women talking through the movie all the time.
Bro, I learn and I retain the way that they break those down. It's like, hey, you get to get engaged by watching it and having like this emotional response. And then they talk you through it. And bro, that fucking dude, he literally was just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And all of his generals and all of his closest confidants are like, dude, you're the fucking king of Macedonia. Like, you're good. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm going to take over the western front of the Persian Empire. And he went and he did it. And this is how crazy it was, is that the Persian king came with his army. Well, do you know who they bring to battle with them? The Persian kings and the royalty?
Slaves.
No, they bring their court with them.
Oh.
So he brought his wife and his sister and like the royal court in the royal tent. Alexander circled around and abducted those motherfuckers. Made his wife Alexander's wife. Even fucking knocked her up and shit, bro.
That's what you do.
She loved it.
And bro, she did love it.
Of course she did. That's a real man.
And the king of Persia,
soy boy.
the king of Persia fled.
Like I said.
He fled when
Checks
that dude has your wife, right? So that his name was King Darius III. He sends a letter to Alexander as like
A fucking letter. I can't read, motherfucker. Let's go.
Hey, and it says, hey, you've successfully conquered our entire Western Front. You even control down into Egypt now. I'm literally happy to just fucking call it a truce, handshake. Congratulations, you took a substantial portion of my empire, but let's just live our days in peace. And again, all his generals are like, you did it. You conquered the western front of the Persian Empire. Now they want to give it to you. And he just goes, stop, like fucking stop. And then, hey, start to his scribe. Start writing my letter in response. You ready? No. I'm coming to kill you, so the entire Persian Empire is mine.
Yeah.
Like, when did that stop, dude?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it hasn't. It's just, that's why it's hot at the moment. The
Yeah, you're
power,
right.
that's what power is. What is like the Roman Empire conquered? You have the Russian Empire. You have the British Empire. Conquering land and taking over resources is what humans have done all throughout history.
We have an American empire right now that's crumbling.
Yes. And so what you're seeing is, what is power? How is power holding on to things? But just
Now you're right, bro. And now, like, everybody's starting to see
The American empire
the American Empire crumbling.
And all the dogs are fighting for
and
a seat
everyone's
at the table.
positioning for what's next.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that since the beginning of time until very recently, though, the men, i.e. Alexander, dude, he was like 21 when his dad died and he assumed the throne. And he said, I'm taking over the Persian Empire.
Yeah.
Come and stop me. And he led from the front, literally in the front with the horse, leading the fucking charges, right?
But you know what? Leadership is leadership. And that's the other reason why I don't have a lot of anxiety over the current situation.
Because they hold no leadership.
They have zero leadership ability.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why it's all crumbling, is that we are being led by people without leadership ability. And it's becoming very obvious. And every time I've ever been, like, we're talking micro, macro, but like, think my CIA contracting days, every once in a while we would have someone put in to like a leadership position who was not a strong leader. Very quickly they'd be sort of eaten and pushed aside, and somebody else would take the place as the team leader. And this, what's going on at the government level is like a macrocosm of that, where we're seeing this weak leadership over the last, it's been decades, and it's creating
World War
this
II.
fucked up situation. This society is crumbling underneath it. And I think right now what we're witnessing is them just desperately trying to hang on to power. And they're cranking down because it's all they have left.
You get to see the media be like, you get to see the media being like the last bones of what's holding this up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because like when that happens, like you see it. The media is what's pushing all their fucking bullshit, and everything else is falling apart around it. And yeah, like you said, the wolves are circling, and they see it, and they're just like, "Come on,
blood is in the water, and sharks are circling you can't. At this point, they're trying to say there's no blood in the water, but the blood is in the water,
and we know it."
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just saying, dude.
Licking your lips over there, buddy.
can't
Calm
wait.
down.
And then we have these people that you would think, I mean, like you're saying, blood is in the water, right? And we can talk about all this egregious shit that's happening. And another bill that got proposed, I think yesterday, for another
not paying that
20
tax.
billion for fucking Israeli security. Like, okay, while our border's wide open,
I
right?
think they also attached $15 billion in Ukrainian aid to their measure to secure the southern border.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not voting for this? How un-American are you?
If you want to pay
Fuck you.
to secure our border, you got to pay to secure somebody else's border, right? Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? And that's because it's all these years of backdoor deals that they gotta fucking come through on. And bro, did you see like 2 weeks ago there was a fucking senator I'm pushing a bill to make it illegal to own or operate glue mousetraps. Super inhumane, right? Fuck. Like, bro, have you ever had an infestation of rodents in a barn? Like, you want to know what that's like? What the fuck? Hey,
This is what our
I'm
taxpayer
sending all the
dollars
glue
are being
mouse
spent
traps down
on.
to the southern border. And I'm capturing some motherfuckers.
so bro, think about that, bro. You can't have. And he even said, "I want to
Hang
make
on a
it."
minute. Is that possible? Can we line the Rio Grande? It's like 3 foot deep.
I think we could.
Dios
Why not?
míos. El
Good
Glue
luck.
Elmers.
Good luck, motherfuckers.
Dude, illegal. When I hear a politician say illegal to own or operate, okay, so now you're talking about enforcement measures. hey,
Yeah.
that guy has glue traps in his garage.
Yeah, you put him in his attic. I seen him. He hand cranked those fuckers away. We're gonna get him.
And you
We're
want
gonna hem him up.
And you wonder why these agencies need 87,000 new agents, right?
Oh my God.
And then you saw, did you guys see Chuck Schumer fucking last week holding the thing of Zyn up?
Oh yeah.
He goes, we're gonna start coming after Zyn because Zyn targets children. All right, so
Don't worry about the cherry flavored vapes.
no, right?
Well, don't worry about the doctors trying to cut their dicks off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, those Zins what we gotta worry about. Those fucking relaxed teenagers are gonna go fucking ape shit.
So Jenny, Jenny saw that. We heard that fucking him say that on the news, and she goes, "Oh well, he obviously has investments with like other tobacco companies, and Zyn, because Zyn is literally just nicotine,
Yeah.
right?
Flavor.
So it must be hurting the tobacco companies that he's in bed with.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There has to be something going on, right?
What's his home state?
Well, then, do you guys follow the page Political Tracker?
No.
It's cool, man. It's
Is
like
that the one that tracks all their donations?
no, it tracks all of their
Investments.
investments.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, hey,
Like
if
the
you,
Nancy Pelosi
if you want to
tracker.
get rich, just track Nancy Pelosi or Dan Crenshaw because they never, ever, 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 ever,
pick winners.
ever don't take more than like a 30% fucking gain a year, right? Like,
Oh, their predictions are better than hedge funds.
That's what I'm saying,
You know, and
right?
you're like, wait, excuse
They
me.
are so smart.
You suck at running the company, but you can do terrific on
what all
stocks.
these,
So why are you
yeah.
running the
So
company?
all these
Go be
mutual
in a-
fund managers
Yeah.
we're paying to invest our retirement are doing is they're just watching. Nancy
so this guy
Pelosi's
this guy
history.
tracks all of that stuff, right? And he said it wasn't Chuck Schumer, but it was a bunch of his cronies like in his inner circle. Guess what they just happened to fucking dump like a couple days before? A bunch of stock that is owned by the parent, whatever the parent company is that owns Zyn. Like,
So they're shorting it.
so they're fucking, for some reason they're dumping it.
Yeah.
Then they're getting up on their fucking podium and talking shit about it. And I don't know what the fucking exactly is going on, but if you think Chuck Schumer's concerned about the health of your fucking gums, pull your fucking head out of your ass, dude. You know, it's fucking ridiculous.
But that's part of where we've gotten to with society is it's like just trust the government to do what's right for you. You know, they're going to make sure your food is nutritious and that your healthcare is good and your schools are good. And the reality is they're not doing any of that. The
public
nutrition
schools
is bad.
are
The healthcare
shit.
system is fucked, and the public schools are a goddamn disaster.
We're producing retards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't say that word.
So then that makes you think, though, is that if you're producing retards, is that because culturally something's shifting or the education has let us down?
Oh,
What I
the
think-
education is post-industrial, like create factory workers. And
yeah, I was gonna
it's
say.
a very narrow conduit.
But is
hang on.
education leading all this culture stuff
I
of
was-
LGBTQ, something that's so
part
minute
of
that
it.
becomes a whole curriculum in theory?
The
and
public education system is a way to control information to the masses.
Yeah.
So you indoctrinate kids their entire childhood in your chosen history, science, whatever, and you sort of quash critical thinking by just making everything a bubble choice or bubble test, multiple choice test. So you're rewarded for memorizing and regurgitating the information that you're given.
But it's never 2 + 2 = 2.
It's telling that
Math is racist.
well, there's no why is philosophy not taught in high school? Because philosophy gets you thinking about different ideas.
yes.
And that's not what the public school system is about. The public school system
They don't
is
have
not
philosophy,
about it's
but
not
they have
about
lit.
critical thinking.
But literature is the only thing. I mean, books have complex idea to develop characters and morals and structure and stuff like that.
I would love to see what's on a literature class for a high school senior today. I bet it's one book.
So then it's like, do you think they're not giving them complex enough ideas to
No, they're
really
not.
grow and
They're not.
develop?
You are being rewarded to regurgitate the information as it is told to you.
So you think that drives culture? Like
Yes.
if you change
Oh,
their
yes. How could it
education,
not?
that leads so much to I don't know.
How could
sticking up
education
for
not
the
drive
victim
culture?
more?
Dude, I don't think it's only
You heard it here first. Drop out.
I don't think it's only like what's on the actual curriculum in reading, writing, and arithmetic. You know what's missing in culture is any sort of hardships or rites of passage. Like every culture used to have a rite of passage. Like when you become fucking 14, you and your dad are going out in the mountains or whatever it is, right? And not that we need to necessarily bring something specific like that back, although it would be good.
We should.
It would be good,
100%.
right? But more importantly, it's just having your life as a child be one where you go through some fucking hardship. Like you see those videos of the 1950s.
I posted one today, the PT program.
The PT
and there's
program.
Actually a speech from JFK where he's saying something about like it's a shame that we would have chubby, fat children who sit around all week and then go watch their high school basketball team on Saturday night and consider that their exercise.
More
and
than
actually, I'm going to pull it up because I want to read you the standards. I want to read you the standards that they have for high school kids.
I saw it was like 30 pull-ups or something.
34 pull-ups.
5 minute, 5:15 mile, like making fucking studs, right? Yeah. But here's the thing: you can make people's brains stupid. But what they're doing first is making our bodies incompetent.
Physically weak.
And bro, if you're a physically weak person, it doesn't matter what's going on in here. You don't have the ability to say, hold on a second, shut the fuck up, right? Yeah. Like anti-bullying 101 starts with a capability that we're not imparting on people anymore.
So for high school kids under this La Sierra system, 34 pull-ups, 52 bar dips, 50 handstand push-ups, run a mile in 5:15, handstand for 45 seconds, swim 2 miles, and then more. That's a fucking gnarly standard to hold high school kids to. But the reality is, I believe that every 16-year-old boy in America is capable of that. If he's being fed right,
here's the other thing, bro.
Given physical activity all his life, there is not a 16-year-old boy in the United States of America who could not attain that standard.
But bro, even if it's something that is, that feels unobtainable. Good.
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason when
it's the gold standard.
When you fucking blast a 300 PFT, people look at you and say, "Oh, that dude's a stud," right? Yeah. Because when you do well, that is met with like admiration from people. Well. And so why wouldn't we say, hey, if you're a 16-year-old boy, let's shoot for 5:15 mile. Yeah. All right? That's what we should be shooting for. Yeah. Well, I can only run a 7:20. Yeah, okay.
We're gonna
Congratulations. That's why we're setting the bar at 5:15. Yeah. But bro, we got kids now, like my kids are telling me when they're in public school, hey, it's the 1 mile run today, and kids just start walking. Yeah. Like right out of the gates. Like,
I'm not gonna sweat.
Why would I run?
Go fuck yourself.
I'm just gonna walk, dude. And it's like we could talk about that for the next 2 hours, because that's like a problem with disrespecting authority, also disrespecting yourself. Like an opportunity to go challenge your physical body is something that should excite a young mind. Like, dude, I did 20 minutes on my stair climber last week, and I came downstairs and I was stretching, and Logan, who's 8, said, "How many minutes did you get, Dad?" I said, 20. And she ran upstairs. I'm like,
she's going to go get 21.
She didn't come down until she said, "I just did 21 and I beat you tonight." And I'm like, fuck yeah, right? Awesome. Like that's since the beginning of time, a friendly competition amongst your friends or your family, or setting a bar that is hard to obtain. It's just like in Ranger Regiment, dude. Like there was a lot of standards we were expected to meet. And the dudes that were studs were looked at, hey, you're a fucking stud. And that came with, like what you said, admiration. That is the opposite of we're all equal.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And now we're trying to pretend everybody's equal. And it's like Rogan always says, you can't have equality of outcome without the equality of effort, which we can never have.
Can never have.
So now what do you do with that? You gotta fucking put people that perform at a higher level on a pedestal and say, hey, those are the people that we should be aspiring to be.
All right, here, I'm going to take it toward the woo here now, because you're packing that cigarette thing.
It's not a cigarette thing.
In the interest of balance,
it's a cigarette.
And the yin and yang of things, the universe at both a macro scale and like the very most micro scale of like particles, if everything became the same, would cease to exist. We require balance for our very existence. You can't experience light if you don't know what dark is. If you didn't know what sadness felt like, you would be incapable of understanding what joy felt like, because there has to be a contrast. So this idea that all people can be
just
equal,
get yourself a wife, and sooner or later you'll find some of that sadness.
Don't do it, Jordan.
No.
There's 2 of us in the room warning you.
I don't need the government.
I'm kidding, Chandra. I love you.
I don't need the government to tell me.
Right?
how the fuck I feel.
That's right, dude.
But it would be impossible for all people to be equal, and that's like the fatal flaw of socialism and communism, is that it's no matter how badly these people want to scream that they're all the same, they're not. It's not possible. Existence would cease.
Something I think a lot about equality is like driving factors aren't based off of equality. To things to evolve, for evolution to happen, it has to have mutations and suppression, right? Suppression of existence. If something's constantly attacking you or the sunlight gets reduced, you're going to evolve physically, mentally, emotionally to adapt. That's why we came from monkeys, like rats became monkeys, when the asteroid hit. Like, evolution is a force that drives change. And without having that, you're constantly lost. You have nothing to push you to be better. We talk about jujitsu. It's like, well, if you have a hard training partner that when you roll with and you practice with, he makes you level up. That's what makes you better. Mm-hmm. It's the oppression. If someone you constantly beat, you're not going to have as finessed, a grittier, a more established and thought out game than if someone just let you have it every time.
Change and evolution cannot happen without pressure, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You require, in order for us to grow, we require someone to
a force to stop us. That's what it is, but that's what evolution is.
So what you're saying is all these motherfuckers trying to put their boot on the back of our neck.
They're making us stronger.
We should thank them for giving us a gift.
The endless endeavor would not exist without them.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Dude.
All of this is but that's growth. When you have things work in your life that you don't like, you have to figure out a way to pivot and to evolve. It changes you as a character. It might stress you in more ways and change your personality, or it releases your personality and it becomes better because maybe you make more money or you feel more fulfilled. But you need pressures to change you. Dude. So it's a hard thing accepting negative times.
Bro, Tom out there. Savage fucking blue belt Tom. So I promoted
gifted
him.
Tom.
Gifted Tom. Yeah, that's what we're gonna start calling him. Gifted Tom.
I promoted him to purple belt on Wednesday night.
How long's he been training?
He's at like just under 2 years, right?
He's a fucking
much deserved though.
Much deserved. And so, but I said that almost verbatim during his promotion ceremony. I said, "Listen, guys." There's a couple of different reasons why I'm promoting Tom. One, he's moving. Like the Navy's stationing him in San Diego, so he's leaving the team. And I wanted to send him off with having a piece of our lineage, right? Because I only like to do promotions once a year. But because of these circumstances, I'm going to bring you up and I'm going to acknowledge a couple things about you. One thing I want to acknowledge is that the value you provided to this team may not have been long in duration, right? But the amount of time you were here, you provided an exceptional amount of value. And that value was found in kicking the shit out of the toughest dudes on my fucking team.
Yep.
And I looked down the line and it was like Andy, Stanaway, Will, like a bunch of brown belts up there. And they were all like nodding in agreement. And I said, and you know what? It didn't feel good to any of these guys. It didn't feel good to me. Like, Tom's had some success with me. You haven't fucking submitted me yet, and you never will. But he's been able to sweep me and get on top of me and put me in bad positions. And I said, dude, that is the gift that you provided this team for while you're here. You made people uncomfortable, and you made people have to go home and look at themselves in the mirror and be like, what the fuck, dude?
I'm not what I thought.
And we need that.
Yeah.
And we need that in life, dude.
Yes.
And it's like, that's why, fucking almost every episode we go off on jiu-jitsu tangents. That's because jiu-jitsu mirrors life. Yes. That little feeling out there of fucking a guy that's been training jiu-jitsu for 18 months, sweeping me to knee on belly. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck is happening right now? It doesn't even make sense. I'm mad. This is stupid. Well, you can be mad and it can be stupid, but you better fucking figure out how to get out of here.
It's also reality.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, dude.
But I think that's where they're winning, though, is that feels shitty, though. Like, and we all embrace it. We talk about like shittiness is growth. So if you kind of have that mindset, it's like, adversity happens, but you learn how to pivot and keep going forward. When you have softer people, or you're trying to create a soft world where it's easy to just tell someone do this or you'll get in trouble. Trouble causes pain. We don't want to deal with trouble. We're constantly going to be conditioned to go soft. That's what eliminating diversity in society, adversity, diversity, these two words I think are interchangeable. That's where that whole equity, we want everyone to be equal, no negative outcomes. But it's like negative outcome is life. That's growth. That's evolution.
Yeah.
And that's what they're making you feel as pain is inflicted. I should avoid this and just do what's easier. Yeah. Instead of being like, no, pain is something you should seek and learn to embrace, but keep going. Yeah. True pain is how you grow.
Yeah. Even in school.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Dude, a night of studying, I remember fucking, like, dude, your brain hurts, but that's resistance in your head trying to condition thoughts, finishing a book. But everything is resistance. Wax on, wax off, motherfucker.
So, yeah, dude, these fucking people that are, for lack of a better term, destroying America. They're pushing the fucking adversity and the pain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some people are going to fucking rise to the top because of this. Mm-hmm. There's no other way, dude. There is no other way.
Because our side has conviction, it's a foregone victory.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That feels fucking good to say, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
With no fucking fear, you know?
No fear.
Dude, how far are you on Wrath of the Wendigo?
Only like 4 chapters. But
okay.
I'm
3/4 away.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a
dude,
good
it's
one.
It's been on my list for over a year, but because my pile is like 15 deep, I've always put off buying it until your episode last week.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Buying it, and I'm putting it at the top of the pile. And I read the first 4 chapters last night with the hair on my arms standing up.
100%, bro.
And I feel like...
It feels so real. Dude, it feels like what's happening.
The weird part of it... I'm not disagreeing with you.
Bro,
everything
that
I have been learning in the last year and a half about spirituality and, this Akashic record of all information that ever was, is, and will be. Like, and the time, all point, like, again... Einsteinian
favorite
physics
talk,
and
God
quantum
talk,
physics.
buddy.
Yeah, here we go. The future, the past, the present all exist at all times. The past is not necessarily in the past. We're just not at that. We don't exist at that point right now, but we could go there. And so if this man, I'm going to try to get in touch with him and get him on our show.
Same.
But yeah.
What show?
Clay Martin.
If this story was truly given to him,
which it was
probably downloaded to him from the Akashic record.
And bro,
which means that it exists somewhere
in
space and time.
Or in parallel time.
And it feels a whole lot like it's written about our little crew.
You think?
Dude.
They start doing rune castings?
Bro.
All of a sudden they're talking about bridges.
Yeah. We got one. There's one right over there.
As a matter of fact.
It was written for me.
Bro,
dude.
Tyler's talked about that. He's like, it's very interesting how human beings are arrogant enough to think that our brains can create things that Mother Nature can't create, right? Well, what's a fucking hard drive? I have fucking 300 or 200 episodes of photographs, audio, video, typed notes, like literally fucking records of each episode on that hard drive, right? And Tyler goes, dude, hard drives are made from crystals because they retain information. Yeah. So the same way that crystals and bones and salts can retain information in the aspect of how it relates to nature. Yeah. And it's like...
And give and receive.
And if
you go in RCs.
Yeah. It sounds crazy to say, but it's the same thing with like what I've said about... one of my buddies, someone just went to an ayahuasca ceremony recently and said... Or no, it was mushrooms. It was mushrooms. Actually, it was one of the kids out here right now. He was talking to me about it last night. He goes, dude, I was sitting and we ate all these mushrooms and then we just looked at each other and our brains synced and we started talking non-verbally.
Yep.
You're crazy. You can't do that. Well, bro, you think that we could make something called a Wi-Fi router where I can sit here and talk to you without saying anything, and then you can pick that up and you can see what I thought through text message. You think that us as human beings can create technology that Mother Nature's of creating.
So
Come on,
there's
dude.
there's a pretty strong theory that comes out of quantum physics when you get deep in the weeds. That is that there is a, like, I call it the Akashic record. That's sort of like the voodoo woo woo name for it. But then I guess if you're more scientific, you just call it the information field, which is a 2-dimensional plane that is encoded with holographic information of the entire universe. So the information that is Jordan, the information that is this building, the information that is fucking Mount Rainier is all encoded on that 2-dimensional plane. And that's where you get to all points in time and space exist always in the future and the present. Like, so if let's say this book is actually a story from the future, it would be encoded on that 2-dimensional plane, which could then be broadcast into our 3-dimensional world. That's the holographic universe theory, is that this universe is holographically being broadcast from this information plane that exists in 2 dimensions, in a second dimension, which we wouldn't be able to see because we live in the 3rd dimension.
Yep.
Marijuana kids.
All of that.
No doubt, dude.
I started to see eyes
that's-
glazing
dude,
over, and I was like, oh, I'll just stop
Hey,
talking.
dude, that's exactly what I was thinking, though.
Yeah.
You nailed it, dude. Verbatim. I got a crystal in my heart.
But it's
and it
why
just
it's
hits
why
you.
Tyler can wake up one morning and be like, I know the runic library.
He
He didn't study that. He just knew it one day. You know what I mean?
Bro,
And so people, you question things. You go, you say,
I
that's
love
the-
Tyler. Tyler
Yeah.
says to me,
But a person would tell you, hey, that's not possible. And you go, no. I talked to Tyler a week ago, and he wasn't talking anything about this. And then 6 days later, he explained the entire runic alphabet to me and what each god was associated with and what each thing meant.
Bro, I know.
And it's like, and I said, how did you learn this? And he goes,
I don't know.
it came to me yesterday.
Dude,
So that is, again, so if you go into like Buddhism and Hinduism, if you can tap your consciousness into that 2-dimensional plane of information, then you can download things. Tyler downloaded the runic library and all its information.
I love that, like, we have this belief in each other, while simultaneously being like, you're fucking insane, bro.
But he's not. But he knows it all.
Wait a second. You didn't even tell me.
So, dude, me and Tyler were moving forward with the business idea that we were gonna kind of do as a team. And he walks in my office one day, and he has this look of like despair in his eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck, dude, what is he about to hit me with, dude?" And I thought he was gonna quit the gym.
Oh.
What I thought was happening right now is he reached some level of spiritual, enlightenment, for lack of a better term, to where he realized he doesn't need to invest in the physical anymore. Right? Because, that's like the pinnacle, right? I don't need to be a fighter. I just go to a mountaintop and fucking and fucking project out into the universe. Yeah. And so I was like, dude, is Tyler done with this place? And he sits down. I was like, what's up, man? He's like, fuck. And I could tell, super nervous to tell me. He goes, I'm gonna back out of the program that we wanted to launch together because I've had a calling to become something else, and it's a stones and bones shaman.
Bro.
And bro, I said,
and here he is.
Cool, bro. I'm not upset with you, you know? But he's like, dude, do you know how hard it was to tell? I mean, he goes, just imagine. I'm going to one of my best friends to say, hey, we had these ideas, but fuck those ideas, because I'm going to start throwing fucking runes and bones on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like, I was nervous to come basically to come out of the closet with it, right? He goes, but I also had to. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, yep, I got some fucking crazy motherfuckers.
Well, we're right back to where Jordan and I were talking about when we were sitting outside before we started, just watching everybody walk in. Like, here comes this guy. Yeah. Here comes that guy. All the personalities.
Yeah. All savage.
No.
And all savage. That's just it, bro. I mean, you got fucking Hayden who builds robots. You know what I'm saying? Like that kid his extracurricular activity is building robots, and he'll fucking, if you're untrained, he will kill you. He will kill you.
If you're trained.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you're trained.
If you're trained, and his robot will too, I'm sure. I don't know if his robots are anything like him.
Maybe he can finally make me my Claymore Roomba. I've been wanting this thing.
Bro, ask him, because he gets frustrated. I'm sure you've heard me ask him. I ask him to do things for me that are like outside of the realm of his capacity all the time.
I love it.
Like, Hayden, when are you going to build me a hydroelectric dam out of my property? I don't build dams, Professor. I'm like,
What could you? And he goes, probably.
no, Hayden will be fucking welcomed with open arms during the fucking apocalypse.
Most valuable
because
man
his
can.
brain functions on a frequency that's very different than where our brains function. Yeah. And we're going to need people like that.
Yes. Oh, dude.
You know?
Most valuable man in camp.
Yeah. Hey, we don't need to fucking man the towers anymore because I built this program to have his robots man the towers.
He'll be like the white Morpheus.
All right, I'm going to crack the window so we can smoke this Native American cigarette.
Yeah, I was wondering about this.
Can we take a pee break?
Let me see.
No, we don't need a pee break.
Oh,
What's this?
We need a pee break.
I'm sorry. We need a pee
Welcome
break.
to
Greg.
Enlightened Neanderthals.
All right, potty break complete.
We're back.
Shit. Let me
I don't even remember where we were at because it's time to smoke a Native
Wrath of the
American,
Wendigo?
a Native American cigarette. But this, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, when Jordan said, "What is this?" I said, "That's a motor." I know what a motor is. I'm an electrician. Right?
Well,
Were we recording all that too?
No, we were not.
Oh, okay.
But this is a multi-wave oscillator. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it puts out a center vortex, which is in the golden ratio.
Yeah.
And then all these other vortexes are like some different frequency.
It's like a coaster for 8 beers.
Yeah.
Gets you in tune with energy.
And I'm probably saying this wrong, but Lukovsky is the guy that invented these.
Lukovsky.
Lukovsky. Yeah. And bro, it's like it's an ancient
Did
fucking medicine.
Yes. Did any of you watch that sacred geometry video I sent you?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Bro, I can own my brain. I always say like, this isn't a fucking poor me story because my brain works fine, but I can't retain when they're talking in those, like all the series on Gaia,
Yeah.
like Sound of
I
Creation,
love all
and
that shit.
it's fascinating.
So good.
And as soon as I watch it, I'm like,
Brain dump.
I would probably have to watch that 5 or 6 more times just to be able to really kind of digest it. Cause it's literally fucking blah, 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 the whole time. And every sentence
That's what I feel
is
like
something
all the time,
that is
dude.
something like
Okay,
that
so-
my brain can barely grasp. And these multi-wave oscillators, same shit, bro.
And for all the high school kids listening, this is why you should pay attention in math class.
Yeah. And not do any of your math and have to do it in summer school in fucking Snohomish High School to graduate.
Good for you.
Summer school, dude. Fuck. I tell my kids too, because Reagan is a mini me.
Is she?
She fucking hates math. She hates schoolwork. She's like, "You said you hated school too." I was like, "I did, but I still completed it. So now you have to complete it."
Yeah, neener.
But bro, I was actually thinking about that the other day. I don't know, like, when did we determine that a young mind needs a formal education to be a successful person?
They don't.
Because maybe
Period.
maybe
They
that
don't.
is not.
Yeah, actually, I don't think they do at all.
Because bro, her brain
Yeah.
and like,
I have a little bit of a vision, which I hope Jen doesn't listen to this episode because. And I mean,
well, now one of her friends is going to send
I
her
know,
this
right?
spot.
Timestamp.
one of the
At
reasons
111 on the YouTube video, Toby said this.
With a
one
fucking
of the
Miller in his
reasons
hand.
I want Training Northwest to grow is I want to become self-employed so that I can homeschool my kids. I want to have my boys with me 5 days, like during the workday. Oh Jesus, rookie.
He shook it before he gave it to me.
Yeah, my bad, dude.
I got a joke
Go
for
watch
Greg.
this, dude. It's so funny.
I want my kids out of the public education system, and I want them with me, sort of
Learning reality.
apprenticing. Yeah, I want them observing me as I go through life.
Yeah.
I think that is actually. I've actually been very bothered the last as I've gone through the divorce and gone through like a very dark time. The thing that has really got under my skin the most is I don't like the way my sons are being raised, and not because I think that she's a bad person or she's a good person and she's a wonderful mother. What I don't like is the amount of time that they are outside of her and my sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And especially now mine, that I'm not in the house.
Why do you think
7
public
days a
school
week.
systems were invented?
Exactly. And so my true dream right now, my goal that I am working towards, the reason I am hammered down, throttle wide open, like just fucking cranking it, is that I want to become self-employed because I want my kids on my heels, just observing and learning life through me. I know plenty about math and science to teach them that. And if they have curious minds that are drawn to, like, you will be drawn to the things you are curious about. So like Kozak, you and I, the reason you and I started hanging out is because we both liked World War II.
Big dicks. Sorry, a couple big dick bandits over here.
Well,
we bonded.
That was like bonus.
How'd Jordan get on your show then?
I got big hands.
You and Trump, buddy.
And big feet.
Big feet, yeah. Big hands, big feet.
Oh, shit. So we started hanging out. Mike literally texted me one. This is the funniest thing. I'm going to share this.
Yeah.
Kozak texted me one day and he's like, "Hey man, I noticed you're really into World War II history. Do you want to go out to breakfast sometime and talk about World War II in the Pacific Theater specifically?"
I remember it was a date. It was a day.
Bro.
I was so excited. I was like, "Fuck yes, I do."
Next time Joel's in town, invite him on that date, bro.
Really?
For real?
Oh, dude, he
you
knows
serious?
more about American military history.
Are you fucking
than
serious?
He reads books. Like,
Shut
dude,
the fuck up.
The
Dude, that's a
Brazilian,
podcast
the
about it.
Brazilian,
Joao is our new brother.
bro, the Brazilian gorilla
Yeah.
and
a history buff?
surfer and
He's a history
surfer
buff?
vibe is like Joel's jumped to the surfer vibe when he moved to America because he was in Southern California, you know? So he carries himself in a way that most people wouldn't think, like, oh, that dude will talk to you about history for 10 hours.
What the fuck? How do we not know this?
Bro, I went to, when we were in a Guns and Geese in New Orleans, him and I went to the World War II, the biggest World War II museum is in New Orleans.
Nice.
I spent all fucking day there, dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
he's
good day.
fascinated by this
Oh,
stuff.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next time he's up, we got to get him on.
But I also think, like,
That's a podcast breakfast.
where in, like, why do we think this one size fits all approach is, see, now you're spilling beer all over the place
spilling
too.
beer all over the place. Hang on.
Here you go.
My
Couple
where I
newbies.
was going with that is that people will be naturally curious about whatever they are drawn to, right? So whether maybe you're drawn to math and science, maybe Kozak and I are drawn to history and obviously science too, because we've done all. If you've listened to our previous episodes, all the like physics and
Poor
time
Jordan.
and what Jordan's
Look
over
at
there
those
like,
puppy dog eyes. I like science.
like, you guys want to play catch?
I'm good at math. I'm really good at math.
So, hey, maybe-
kids who are drawn to, like, if painting is their thing, they will be called to it. And they will be curious about different ways, different techniques for painting. Or if they're drawn to music, they will be curious to learn different instruments.
So I wonder what
And
the best way is to, because on one hand, you can't just let kids do whatever they fucking want.
And
Hey,
in
you don't have
the
to read any history. You can just paint pictures of butterflies, and when you're 18, you'll graduate.
No,
Like,
you're
there
right.
has to be something, but we also
you need to know basic math.
we
and
need
basic-
to be able to give people more autonomy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I watched a documentary on gymnastics in China, and they'll like scout the fucking schools when these kids are like 5 and be like,
You, and you.
she's coming with us and her exercise is going to be the floor or whatever it is, and take them from their families.
Holy
and they
shit.
move to the Olympic training center. And that's their whole fucking life, dude. And they key in on shit. And in like a lot of communist countries like this, their Olympian
did it.
team. Yeah. Like, hey, you show that you excel at this, come with us. Yoel Romero talked about that with Cuba, right? And it's
I had a coach that said that he went to the Olympics when like it was the USSR, right? Like full on gnarly. And he said he went there and there were 3 security guards with every wrestler. And he was like, what
American
the fuck?
or Russian?
Russian. Okay. And he was like, what the fuck is
Keep
going
them
on
from
with this?
escaping.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So he was like, he thought, yeah,
The
they're
Iron Curtain must fall.
they're in a different country and they're like, we have these guys, and they at first he thought they were bodyguards.
Yeah.
And then he sees the guy digging through like this little purse for change to buy a fucking hot dog
yeah.
at a hot dog stand. And he's like, what the fuck? And he starts kind of trying to talk to the guy, and the guy's kind of like, and he's like, hey, no, here you go. I'll pay for that. Yeah. And then he ended up buying the guy's warm-ups. So he has a pair of their actual like gear. Yeah. Because he was like, here, I'll give you 150. What is this? This is my high school wrestling, or not my high school wrestling coach, my wrestling coach when I was 4.
Yeah.
Him. He was talking about how this is what he did with the fucking, when he went to the Olympics and watched.
Wow.
And that he experienced fucking security guards around these guys and then found out that, oh, those security guards are to keep them from escaping.
But this is kind of like an interesting just study on humanity overall, is the people that were chosen and or forced into these positions, they usually don't outperform the people that found it as a passion.
Yeah.
Again, America.
And that's why
we're back to the true believer.
You know what I'm saying? That's why America it always excels at things exactly that, the true believer, you know? And it's like, so how do we harness that in our youth? And to like, because on one hand, it's like, you remember when in the 80s, you were asked what you wanted to be when you grew up every 5 minutes. Yeah. What do you want to do when you grow up? A veterinarian because I like animals. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can't really expect. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to be until I was 41 or something.
It changes.
It changes, right?
Yeah. What I wanted to be changed in the last 3 years.
But how do we fucking...
I can attest to that.
And but bro, the amount of like excitement and drive that is created when you step into a new journey, it's like, oh, I'm doing this now.
Exciting.
You know, you're watching the gym grow, you're watching Training Northwest grow, like these things that were just a period of time ago were nothing, and an idea in your mind, and now you got 20 people on the line taking firing commands from you and becoming fucking more capable.
Yeah.
How do we instill that in people to want to create?
Because people need to understand that the journey is the payoff. So if Training Northwest became a success overnight and I instantly was a millionaire and I was just, you know, selling merchandise and what, you know what I mean? And everything was golden, it would be kind of like, okay, it's cool because I have material wealth. But the reality is the journey, the struggle to get it off the ground, to fight through all this shit and decide what to do with these regulations and come to the realization that I don't give a fuck about their authority and that I do what I want to do. Like, that's a personal journey. It's put me through all these different sort of revelations on how I conduct myself. And even to like, you know, this year I've been saying that I want to push the idea of responsibility, where if you want to be a hunter or a sport shooter and just keep your guns in your safe at the house, fine. But if you consider yourself a protector and you're putting a gun in your waistband when you walk out into public, you are taking upon yourself a huge responsibility. And I don't think a lot of people honor that. They haven't had any formal training. They think that because they grew up hunting and that everyone, you know, 3 times a year they go out in the woods and shoot a couple holes in an old piece of shit dryer or whatever the fuck trash they threw on the side of the road.
Full of tannerite.
Yeah.
Good old shoot
letter.
That they're ready to confront evil if a mass shooter situation arises in front of them. And they're so fucking wrong, because like, we're sitting in a jiu-jitsu gym. You cannot, I've said this before, you cannot come to a lesson at Electric North and be like, all right, call Dana White, I'm ready for my UFC contract. You can't lift weights one time and say, you know what, I'm fit. You can't go to the range one time every 3 months or whatever and say, you know what, I'm ready to carry a gun in public and I can be effective with it. I was shooting my concealed carry pistol today before I came here, and I was getting really frustrated because it's a really difficult gun to shoot.
Because the little guns suck.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, it doesn't have a red dot.
It does.
Oh, well, never mind.
It's right there.
Sitting right there.
Did you end up going with a 48?
It's a 48.
Okay, I switched to the 48 too. And even though it's not the best gun to shoot, it's a big step up from the 43.
Yes, it is.
Because of the
less
the
recoil,
handle?
less felt recoil.
So
it's a longer handle.
It's literally just physics. It's a bigger weapon, so it absorbs the recoil of 9mm
No, not
better. You know what I'm saying?
It's op-rod. Its op-rod is the same as the 43X. It is the same felt recoil as a 43X.
But I'm
because it has a full length handle.
Yeah, full length handle.
Absorb it.
That's what I'm talking.
No, but that has a longer slide than the 43 as well.
But the op rod is it's the same spring and op rod, so the
The travel. Let me tell you about physics.
The ramp
boys.
up of felt recoil, it has to ramp up really steeply and then drop off. Whereas the longer the op rod, the slower that ramp up is, and that's why like a Glock 17 feels like a Cadillac because it has a long travel on the op rod.
You're telling me that's
And
not the
more-
same
and more weight?
That's not the same op rod as the 19?
It is not,
Interesting. Because it's the same profile as a 19.
but it's the same.
It's just thinner.
Look at the lower. Look at the plastic part. The lower.
Yeah.
The receiver. It's the same as a 43X. A 19's plastic would extend all the way to the end there. And
All the way to-
and the op rod would come all the way to the front of the slide. This op rod stops right there where the plastic stops.
Okay.
We're getting deep in the weeds here.
No, but I think the 19.
But sorry, what I was going to say is that I found out I had to eat a little bit of my own fucking, crow pie, is that I'm not very good with this Glock 48. And I was like, man, I might have to go back to carrying a 19 because right now I have some deficiencies on this weapon system. And so for me to take it out in public would be irresponsible.
Which is funny because that's still, that's,
No.
You're still there.
No.
Well, irresponsible.
Yeah, in a food court at the mall with 1 million people, but someone coming up behind you.
Hey,
like,
I
I was at a soccer stadium with a fucking 1,000 people yesterday.
Hey.
Sometimes I want a big spread when they're coming at me.
You see that kid that shot that dude at the mall at, what did he say, 48 yards?
40 yards, yeah.
You know, Tony tried to recreate that and couldn't.
Tony who?
Cowden.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and he's like, and he caught a lot of flack, and he's like, listen, I'm not saying
the numbers might be
I'm not
fudged,
saying good, not good job, or the dude's not a stud. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but if you're gonna throw out times and numbers and distances, well, then if you're throwing out times and numbers and distances, expect to be critiqued on times and numbers and distances, because it's the story was cool enough, right?
Yeah.
Like if I burned a dude down at 5 yards. I burned him down at 5 yards.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hold on. Are you saying Tony tried to shoot what he shot, or he had the guy out? And
No. Tony tried to shoot it.
Okay, but do you think that kid could go out and shoot it? 'Cause-
No, because Tony Cowden's the best shooter I know.
Yeah.
That's that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
okay, because
What was the shot? What was the drill? Like, what is
I
to
forget
recreate
exactly.
it?
You got to hit 8 of 12 rounds at 40 yards, and I don't know what the time standard is.
but it was tough, bro.
Yeah.
And
we should do
like-
it at the range.
Yeah, do it at the range. Let's see.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
we'll
The
see what's up
Cowden
with it.
We'll look it up and we'll
experience.
try it.
Yeah. Challenge.
That fucking dude is rad, man.
I'm so upset that I had a herniated disc the weekend he was here, and I was laying in bed the entire time.
Well, I mean, you already got him on the calendar coming back, right?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, you will really, really, really enjoy that. Like one of my favorite things as a jiu-jitsu instructor is watching how other people teach, because it teaches you, like you can see little tips and tricks and nuances that kind of captivate people, right?
Yeah.
And as an instructor, I always say, like, you have to have a base level of knowledge that you're ready to impart on another person. Once you have that base level of knowledge, 90% of your fucking block of instruction is your charisma and your engagement with people.
Yes.
It's
I always
putting on
say,
a concert.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
it's not
course.
just- I'm selling my energy. I am giving my energy to the people who come out to the range, and like giving them my time and like my focused attention. And that's really what you're actually selling is that.
100%, bro.
And-
But where it comes alive, where I've noticed is if you're trading your time and you're of the mindset like, fuck, dude, it's cold out here and I just don't feel like doing this.
You can't do that.
Bro, that's the most toxic thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
It comes
know.
across.
I don't know how I'm able to flip the switch, but it doesn't matter what my day is. When I step onto the mats and I see 25 people here for an hour and a half experience on our mats, it just
It's go time.
it's go time. And you embrace that moment, and people see you embracing it.
Yep.
And now they feel like, fuck yeah, dude.
It's
Well,
exactly,
you walk away with a high.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
yeah.
Everybody's like, fuck yeah, dude.
so
That's-
everybody gets
you
on the
know?
same plane, and then
Yeah, it does actually help elevate you, because
yeah, it
same
does.
thing. I've gone out to teach classes and been in a shit mood and like, God damn it, I don't want to do this today. But then people start rolling in, and it's like, got to turn it on. Got to turn it on. It has to be good energy. And by the end of the day, because I've been doing nothing but putting out good energy, you can't
First Form
help
cigarette?
but feel good.
Yeah, that's a first form cigarette.
Shut the fuck up.
No, it's not. It's actually, it's just pure 100% organic tobacco.
Straight up tobacco.
With a leaf.
Rolled up in a leaf. Like that's it. There is nothing else in there. And
I used to smoke cigarettes, so I can like it. If you have a menthol version, I'll take one of those.
You're the wrong color for that.
Yeah, dude, come on. But yeah, the wrestling. That's what I feel the same thing every day.
And bro, like, and that is, in my opinion, that is why the gym has blown up so much, is because it doesn't matter if I'm teaching or you're teaching or Dan's teaching. The people that show up, they know like, hey, this next hour and a half is going to be shared with cool people. And everybody here feels like this is worth our time. And this is a valuable experience, right?
When I'm tired,
how many mat rooms have you been in? Maybe not in wrestling, because wrestling, you can't really be lazy in wrestling. But I've been in plenty of,
you can.
Can you?
Oh,
I've been in plenty of jiu-jitsu mat rooms where the energy is just kind of like, you know, and it's like, ugh.
But this gym also brings a fucking group of people who are up for a challenge, right? As opposed to like a lot of those gyms that are kind of like, oh, well, fuck me. We're just going to... If we turned around and all of a sudden opened up that fucking bay out there and said, today's lesson is we're going to get on that fucking trail and we're going to run a mile.
everybody go.
Everybody would go and they'd be like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
And that's the culture that's been built here.
There's also a lot of best friends. And so that's the other thing is that...
They weren't when they started.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but what I'm saying is like, after work in the afternoon when you're tired and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go to the gym tonight. Like 6 o'clock in the evening is when I like to be in like winding down, not winding up.
You can tell I don't smoke cigarettes.
or marijuana.
Yeah, or anything else. I'm bored. Like,
Well, and I talked about that at Tom's promotion too, because when a team comes alive for me is when, you know, I'm having that debate with myself like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm tired. I want to wind down. I trained 3 days this week already. You know, what do I need to train tonight for? And when you start to have the thought, like, and it started happening to me in California. It's like, dude, Sid and Miles, they were like the two guys in my gym that were like neck and neck with me. We'd have the gnarliest rounds, right?
Me and Josh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're like, well, fuck, man. What if Sid's at practice tonight and I'm not?
Yeah.
That's a problem for 2 reasons. It's a problem for 2 reasons because A, Sid is getting better, right?
Yeah, and I'm not.
But also, I'm doing him a disservice because I always give him hard rounds.
Yeah.
And if I don't show up, the team takes a hit.
he needs me. I need him.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
part of this.
And it's like, we can't get good out there alone. And so once you realize like I think, sure, jiu-jitsu may be an individual sport when we compete, but everything outside of competition, it's probably the most intimate team sport that there is.
Well, hang on. I don't know that this is my bubble. And I don't know that hearing other people's stories, I'm not sure that this is the way other gyms are.
No,
It's not.
They're not.
It's not.
Not at all.
So
No, it's not.
I don't know.
This
that
was a
every-
unicorn.
Dude,
I just
I've
moved
been-
in next door.
I've been to gyms that like you can tell people don't spend any time outside of the gym together.
They have no idea who
you
each
get
other are.
there and everybody's a little awkward around each other, and then like they kind of roll around and the instructions kind of so, and they kind of laugh and poke and prod, but it's not really like it's not tight.
Yeah.
In here, it's like, oh, which one of these guys are gay with each other? Because it's like a big orgy in here.
Are you talking about Brett and Kyle?
Well, you know,
Tie-dye.
it's cool, you know. Having this is a special place. Not only is it got the people, right, but it has the facilities that create
That's
a
true,
special fucking situation too. You know
By the
how
way,
much?
I
How
was
much?
actually meaning to compliment Greg, and I wanted to do it when Jenny was around. But what you guys have built here is pretty fucking phenomenal.
Oh, dude, this.
I love hearing that, man. Because
Yeah.
like this has been the vision for so long.
Yeah.
But just like you were saying, man, like the vision is just
But
the launching platform, but it takes a long time
But
to get to where
yes,
you want it to
but
be.
everyone has a vision. Everyone has. Okay, hang on.
Dude,
I-
what-
Let's hear it.
No,
Here
hang
he
on,
goes.
hang on,
He's
hang
gonna
on.
start speaking
'Cause
cursive.
Yeah,
Go for it.
cursive goes here. You have had a vision of having a jiu-jitsu gym that is very good technique, but just a group of assassins, I feel, is your main goal. Like when I started here, that's what it was. It was just finding people that would stick around, and you got a bunch of people that are like, this is really good technique, and everyone tries really hard.
Yes.
And I got addicted to it because it reminded me of fighting gyms and other gyms I was a part of. And just that spirit is what kind of made it to me lustrous and shiny, and I'm staying here. There's something here. Not all, the technique's good, but the heart in it is good too, and it makes me go harder, right? And then so that's your vision of having this gym that is hard like that. But you're like, I would like it to be this big thing. We all have this goal of where we're going, but what really launched the gym was like your personality, you being you, having morals.
Good leadership always rises.
Yes, and this is something I've never been exposed to. I read the Jocko books and all that stuff, the Leif Babel one, Extreme Leadership, and learning what leadership is. But being in a community with people that are wanting to do something for someone else because they don't want to let that person down, but they also don't want to let their friends down. They don't want to let themselves down. There's accountability to it, right? And so I think what to me blows me away about all this, and that's why I'm like, oh, it's crazy, all this fan art. It started off with me moving in next door, and I'm like, I'm gonna choke you, you're gonna choke me, but it's like, God, he's really good at choking me. It just got me. It feels so right. But what really makes it crazy for me is that you got thrown up against the wall to get recognized. And this is why I always go back to like evolution and pressure and stuff. That's what growth is. Whether it's something hunting you and you have to adapt, or someone suppressing you and you have to figure out a better way. That's what growth is as a child, is you're being repressed by your parents to have individualism and be yourself and unique. And that's punk rock, right? Fuck you, mom and dad. I'm going to stand up. But
we're not going to take
it. Exactly. But like
the 80s anthem, bro.
Yeah. But that's
you're not gonna take it. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
You're good. You grew this out of that. And like, it has its own direction, and over time it takes its own flavor. But what we've kind of created, or you've recreated, it's that mentality. It's a fire, but also I don't know.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Well, let me say this.
I
I'm gonna start smoking
love
cigarettes
that
now.
I get to sit down and talk to Mike Kozak once a week.
I
Because I don't know what the fuck.
the
you
most
just said.
impressive thing I've noticed here about this is you were able to scale this and not have it watered down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where
Yes.
I see other gyms that are like, hey, our monsters
Well, hang
aren't
on.
paying, they're not keeping the lights on.
I can comment on this because what you have done is you have given leadership to people who can take it and go with it. So like Will and Tyler, like Will has grown into an incredible coach. Like what he does with the kids is fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. Tyler as well, Craig as well. And then even there's like a handful of us that have keys to the building, and every single person who has a key now treats this building like it's their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if people are acting a fool when you were not, like when you were out for surgery and there was some kids being like, it was like a couple of us went over and like, hey,
Yeah, cut that shit out.
this shit is not going to fly.
That's not what we do here.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of, you have the ability to step away a little bit here and there. And the culture is so strong, and there are so many strong leaders that are in with the culture that it permeates.
So
You've created a situation where everybody's allowed to be a piece of this, and everybody feels like they are a piece of this.
That's true.
it's the only
everybody's
bro,
a team
So
member.
it's the only way for it to truly work.
Yeah.
So bro, like for a long time I used to have imposter syndrome. Like I don't want to think that
that's good.
that I have the capacity to create something great. Like what kind of leader am I? There's men like Jocko out there. Yeah. You know what, dude? Like Jocko learned a lot about leadership through different commands in the SEAL teams, which is cool, right? He got to have his path to learning and understanding leadership. I think you can learn just as much about leadership in a fucking mat room.
Or just on your own as an entrepreneur.
Or that's what I'm saying,
You're
though.
going to get kicked
Because
around, and you're going to face tough situations.
you
have
have
to
to
make real decisions.
There's lots of situations that come up to where you have to make the right decision.
Yes.
And it can be a sink or swim moment, right?
Yeah.
And like, to talk about, to piggyback off of what you were saying, is like you were able to keep the strong culture without watering it down. And bro, that was my biggest fear for years, because I was like, practice might only have 6 people at it, but it's me, Kozak, Big Tom, and a couple other people, and Dan, and 2 other people that, like, if you have 1 second of a misstep, you're getting strangled, right?
Yeah, walking a tightrope every
Fucking
go.
time. And that's cool on one hand, if the overall goal of the academy is to create absolute assassins.
But how many gyms like that you see in the UFC that, like, it's like these guys were fucking on top for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then they fucking fall off because guess what? Nobody wants to go and pay to get their fucking face smashed for after work activities.
No, that's exactly right.
But then you go here and you created this thing, and it wasn't you. It was going. I'm sorry to fucking cut you off, but like it was going even before the Jiu-Jitsu 101.
Yes, no,
which
for sure.
kind of opened up that because it created a training ground for coaches. And it created a training ground for fucking brand new white belts that didn't feel that they were going to be able to walk in.
It's more
to
valuable
fucking
for
Baron
the coaches
Polos,
that it's bringing up than it is for the...
It's a training ground for everybody.
But
everybody's gaining out of every aspect of this gym. Everybody is drawing something from it. Whether it be we're sitting here fucking 15 foot away from a mat doing what we're doing right now, or we're over there in a fucking cold plunge trying to figure out that part of life, or in the fucking sauna, or on the mats getting our asses beat, or upstairs fucking learning how to fucking train the
coach.
next group.
Yeah.
You know?
So what shifted in my brain was like, all right, I never want to be a McDojo, right? But I've also had like we live in Snohomish County. It's like you hear what everybody thinks of you and what you think of your academy. And I had a few people that are like, dude, you can't be part of that team unless you're like unless you got a 6-pack and you're just a fucking savage. And it's like,
look at me.
but like, I understand that savage men want to become more savage, right? But who needs it more than anyone? Like everyone at this table probably won the majority of high school fights they got in just because of being a young, wild fucking animal, right? Me and Foulke got in tons of shenanigans when we were young Rangers, and
I remember nothing.
It very rarely,
Mostly on Capitol Hill.
it very rarely, if never, didn't go our way because we were 20-year-old Rangers that were fit as...
Do you remember losing a fight?
No, that's what I'm saying, because we were fit as fuck and we were wild animals.
But you also had a group.
And we had a group,
wolf
a
pack.
group of
Bro,
wild
that's-
animals.
that's
we had a gang and shit. But what I realized is like, dude, a dude that's in good ass shape that grew up pretty fucking tough, he's the least needing member of society to learn some self-defense and some capability.
Least needing member of society, period.
Yeah. If you want to pander or build your business to those people, that's cool because you'll have a small group of absolute savages. But what are we really here to do? Mm-hmm. What we're really here to do is have our group of savages, which we absolutely still have. But bro, everybody else get on board and get better and get healthy. And like, I'm seeing it happen at an exponential rate now.
The level up that is happening with like the reason your message and this podcast are so popular, this gym is growing, Training Northwest is growing, is because there are a lot of men who are realizing that masculinity has been lost.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily their fault, but they find themselves, they're living in a suburb of Seattle. They grew up there. They don't know how to start a campfire. They're not really sure what to do with a sharp knife or how to even sharpen it if it gets dull. And they realize that if their car broke down on the pass in November, they'd be fucked. And people are starting to take, again, we're back to the principle of responsibility, taking it upon yourself to go out and seek this. This information exists now. The old way was your dad and your grandpa taught you, but that has gone away. So now you have to go out and seek Training Northwest or Fieldcraft Survival, or you have to come to a jiu-jitsu gym and get knocked around a little bit to build a little bit of, that one too.
So bro, I'll tell you, you know why we're doing so well with those people that are seeking that is because when they walk through the door,
they get leadership.
But I also, they don't get any bullshit.
True. Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, if you're fat and overweight,
welcome. Let's get on the fucking path.
I can tell you what, Steven was a perfect example. He's like, what do I need to do to fix my current situation?
Yeah.
I said, I can tell you what you need to do, but it's up to you to do it.
It's what's Lappin say? It's not hard, or it's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah. And it's like,
I had a Steven on my team this year.
Did you?
fuck yeah.
Dropped 44 fucking pounds.
Man.
And dude, like that is what we need to be doing, is taking people that have a fire inside of them and showing them the path to becoming motherfuckers, dude.
We will. And
you know?
we are. And we're figuring it out, and we're starting to realize that it's what's important is the energy exchange.
And people, people like that.
Yes.
Like no one wants to walk into a gym and have some fucking personal trainer be like, hi, my name's blah, blah, blah.
And I'm going to write you a diet
You want to sit down with me? But it's like everything's fake bullshit.
Yeah,
and like, dude, when Asia walked in here, who has cerebral palsy, you know, and it was just, I was the only one. I was cleaning the gym. And she walked in here and was like, hey, can I talk to you about jiu-jitsu? I said, yeah, of course. This is what we do here. What's, you know, and she's like, well, I don't know if my body is capable of doing something like this. I said, that's what everybody else will tell you. I said, I don't know anything about your body. I don't know how well it works or how well it doesn't work. And I also don't really care, because your body's going to do what it's capable of doing, and you're going to get better in the capacity that you're capable of getting better in based on how your body functions.
Yeah.
And so if you can do a deep squat, I said, do a deep squat right now. Can you do one? And it was kind of a struggle.
Yeah.
What about this? Can you and just put her through like a couple mobility things. I was like, see, your body is at a starting point that may be light years behind somebody else's. But at the same time, if you invest 3 months here, you're going to move the goalpost so much further towards fucking being who you want to be, that if anyone says anything else to you because of your ailments, they're full of shit. They're just trying to keep you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And bro, I saw it in her eyes. It's like, I don't think people are used to being talked to like that. And it's like, I'm literally just giving you 100% authentic truth. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what your ailments are. There's plenty of people, and I shouldn't, that sounds harsh. I don't give a fuck. It's like, obviously we give a fuck, and we will tailor the training in a manner to where you get to be part of the team too.
But it's understood by the entire team.
It's understood.
And it's understood, and it's not like, it doesn't need to be said. Everybody just gets it. And it's an authentic place where you can come and fucking figure it out.
And now that woman's on a path to growth as well, because she said, yeah, I'll fucking do this.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the magic happens. Yeah. It's not in the fucking savagery.
Yeah.
The savagery is important to hone
it's the journey.
The internal warrior spirit that certain people hold, that consider themselves warriors. But the people that aren't of a warrior spirit, they have so much growth to gain too. And once you can have your warriors and your people that are looking for just for overall betterment can share the mats together. Yeah. And that's where we're at. Yeah. But the toughest dudes in the team
are fueled by those people.
To bring everybody up together, dude. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, it doesn't matter how tough you are anymore, you know?
I will say, well, hang on. It doesn't matter how skilled you are and how well you can rolling around. What matters is your grit. If you have grit, you'll be accepted here.
Bro, so we have this new kid. He looks like 20 years old, pretty young kid. And day one white belt. And he's like, you know, I don't expect people to roll on their first day, but if they want to roll, they're always welcome to, right? So I watched him get around with Tyler. I watched him get around with Will, who are bringing him on board to what jiu-jitsu is all about. And it was even told to him, avoid other white belts tonight. Yeah. And bro, I look over the corner of my eye, and this new white belt has a wrestling background is doing what a new white belt that has a wrestling background does. And it's just fucking massacring this kid, dude. Like crossface, crushing him. Like every ounce of his body weight was creating pressure on this kid's head. Yeah. And I got up to walk over there to stop it, right? Yeah. And then I saw the look in this kid's eyes, and he was like, like I'm fucking fighting through this. Like, fuck you. I'm losing, but fuck you, right? And I was watching him, and I stepped back. I said, Yeah. He's experiencing what we all have to go through right now. And he got up, the bell rang, and I could see him kind of like dusting himself off and shook the guy's hand. I pulled him aside and told him, I said, bro, that round, that told me so much about you that you might not even know, but this is for you, bro. I said, most people, if that was their first night, that would have broke them. I said, you didn't get anywhere close to breaking. It's fucking cool to see, man. You know? So I love it when the warrior spirit comes through here. I do, right?
It's amazing.
But overall, as a jiu-jitsu academy, we have to be able, but Tyler's mom is a perfect example, Joelle.
Yeah.
What is she? In her mid-50s, right?
Yeah.
And fucking like, that's the last person that 10 years ago,
The last person you would expect.
a pushing 60-year-old woman with no background in any type of martial art. Hey, you want to join our team? We'd all be like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, now I got to get around with her. You know what I mean? Like, we would have interpreted that as diminishing the training.
Yes, but no, because of good leadership. We ought to have been like, this isn't a round that's going to challenge and promote me, but I will absolutely roll with whoever, and I will try and grow and learn from this.
Yes, bro.
Once again, that pain of not what you want, you're getting something that's resisting a little bit. When I should have killers, I'm getting an elderly woman.
Yeah.
But figure this out. Figure a sweep. Figure a something.
But
figure
now,
out how to engage with somebody of that ilk.
yes.
And you're going to fucking grow.
Yeah,
I didn't
get
want to
flawless.
do this because fuck, I'm losing something. Well, guess what? That fuck, I'm losing something is a moment for growth.
Yeah.
And now I look at like Tyler coming to this gym, and now his mom is here, and now his kids are here. And then through me, they met Chris, who introduced them to David. So they all went to Costa Rica together. Like the network grows by bringing people in, and she's a perfect addition to this team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's fucking cool to see. And I just don't think, like the deeper we go down, or like we got fucking oscillating fucking vortexes and we're drinking mushroom tea and like, doing fucking runes readings and having your fucking crystals and all the shit that, like, on one hand, to a lot of people, it seems kind of silly, but emotionally, this gym is becoming very balanced.
It's working real well under this roof.
Yeah, dude, it's becoming very fucking balanced. And
you got a little oscillating deal in front of a William Wallace. Fucking everything I goddamn want.
So let me tell you about this William Wallace thing, right? Because and I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he wants the story told on the podcast or not, but new white belt, came to the gym and couldn't even do 5 push-ups. And adult, right? With 2 kids too.
Oh.
And he signed up, and you could tell he was a fish out of water at first, like this very fucking foreign environment for him. And then he came into my office and he dropped this off, and I called him in here and I opened it up. And I said, hey bro, if you're dropping a gift off, I want you in here while I'm opening it. Right. And I open it up and he goes, hey, I heard on your podcast that William Wallace has like inspired you since you were a little boy. So I thought this would be a cool gift for you. And I was like, bro, it's the coolest fucking gift ever. Right. But I want to hear about your story. He goes, dude, I've only been here a couple months. And he goes, I went from being able to do, I want to say 5 push-ups to 25. And he goes, and that's cool. Like, I'm making gains. He goes, but you know what's more cool than gains is my children are seeing a change in me, and the way they look at me is different now.
Fuck yeah.
And I said, that's what we're looking for.
That makes me happy.
He's like, because he was afraid that his boys were looking at him like he was a pussy. Now, most of that is an internal thing that you're prescribing to yourself, right?
You are acknowledging the fact that you are a pussy.
But if you prescribe that to yourself, then the world sees it too, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So you do the things to unprescribe that to yourself.
Yeah,
The world also sees that, and he's already feeling that in a very short amount of time. Bro, think of all the men in our society that feel like they're less than, or they're incapable, or all of the fucking anxiety and depression and all the shit that is riddling our society. You could take those men and just give them little pieces of, that's right, dude.
This place did that for me.
Fuck yeah, dude. And you've been a savage your whole fucking life, dude.
Well, I am capable of fucking ridiculous shit in a practice setting, right? I wrestled since I was 4. I was fucking, I'm a tough motherfucker. I know that. But this place in particular gave me this I call it the fuck you attitude. And I didn't have that before. And it took, I'm still balancing it, right? Because, I came here and it fucking just skyrocketed. And I was kind of being like,
damn near reckless.
Well, I got cocky. I got cocky as fuck. I was very, even keeled, okay, yeah, we're going to figure it out. And then all of a sudden I got here and I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that. I'll fucking kill anybody. and then it was like, okay, you're being a fucking prick. I'm finding this fucking, and now I'm kind of
take it back a notch there, cowboy.
Exactly. I'm settling into this thing, but I came here and it fucking launched me into this because you're the energy in this place. I came here having I know what I'm capable of in a room, in a wrestling room. I know what I'm capable of in competition, and it's not equating.
Yeah.
And then I came here and I gained this fucking just I'm a fucking savage, and anybody who has anything else to say about it, let's fucking find out. Let's fucking go. Yeah, and good.
Well, I want to hear what you think that it was, because you came from Ivan Salivari's lifelong wrestler, collegiate wrestler, training MMA and grappling with Ivan Salivari, who's a friend of mine, and his culture in his gym is a bunch of tough motherfuckers too, right?
Absolutely.
But when you walked into our mat room, what was it that made you want to stay?
So, Ivan's, I was always in and out of Ivan's, and I spent the weekend with Ivan.
Yeah, no, I know you're still
this weekend.
Okay.
I literally we just got done seeing each other because his son's a fucking savage. Just won our district tournament, and he looks like a fucking grown man, even though he's 16, 17.
Good genes.
Yeah, very good genes. So I spent time there, but it was in my early 20s after I got out of college. Okay. And I was running around Seattle partying, having a good time, and much like I'm doing now, right? But now I'm kind of settling back into where I should be, I think. And I just didn't have the what's that? I didn't have the zeal, the fuck you. And I think jiu-jitsu helped me with that. But then when I got here, I think it's just your energy, it's fucking Tobin's energy, it's the whole group dynamic, and this is my people. These are my people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We are all on a similar frequency, and we resonate with each other.
Yeah, and I don't know what the actual moment was, and I'm trying to figure it out because I need to fucking coach it. I need to learn how to fucking deliver that to my guys. And I'm truly paying attention and trying to figure out exactly what it is and what the fucking the spark was.
It's buying in and becoming a true believer.
It very well could be. It very well could be. But there was something about
you're saying
in particular.
What is projected or articulated or shared that makes you want to feel that way?
Yes, and I think it's the energy. I truly think it's I walked in here and I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. And then I came and I was like, this is my fucking group. Because I've never walked into a room and been like, I couldn't fuck everybody up in here. The back of my head. But this place gave me a fucking thought of you can do that in all aspects of life.
Because people here go hard. And so you get no easy rounds. And you start to realize that even though our bubble is tough people and you think of yourself as mediocre, and you go, hang on, I'm mediocre in a very small pond of really tough fish. Yeah. And so when I get outside of that pond,
I've been in ponds that were fucking dense.
Yeah.
I've been in some dense ponds, but it's the ability to compete at a high level that this place gave me. It gave me because I knew I knew I could do whatever, but
is that tobacco or weed?
I don't know what you did.
That's weed.
I don't know what the fuck you did, Greg.
Tobacco.
This looks very different.
Things changed just a second ago.
Yeah, we upgraded.
I don't know what you did, Greg, but you got something. And I'm trying to figure it out because I can fucking...
It's leadership. So hang on.
No, but...
Greg has strong leadership capabilities. And what he did was create a team in his vision. right? And that literally is what it boils down
He
to.
created more than a team. You guys created an essence of military that I've never served. I never.
This is not the military. No.
No.
Don't equate this with the military because the army
No,
does
but
not
you're
build a
missing
warrior
something.
spirit. This place builds warrior
No,
spirit.
military does because it's
No, it
about
does
the
not.
guy to the left and to the right of you.
War
It's
does.
not
That's
about
right.
your mission.
Getting
it's
wasted
about
at a bar and getting in bar fights builds that camaraderie.
Exactly, that's what I
The
mean.
military does not build
Maybe that's
through
what the thing
forcing
is.
it.
That's
though.
what it
Maybe
is.
that's what it was.
Yeah, but through
You allowed me to drink and wrestle.
No,
I'm not gonna sit here and say the military doesn't forge that. I think I've always said
no.
like
Shitty
I think-
experiences shared together create bonds,
hardship.
and then
Yeah.
you care
Yes.
about the person to the left and to
Okay.
the right of you, especially the people
The military does do
trying
that.
to
You're right.
like work.
You do
harder.
bond and form a camaraderie. Obviously,
It's
Sitting
not
here
about
with
the
Greg
mission or
20
the
years
doctrine.
later.
It's
Yeah.
about the forced
What-
experience.
so hang on, but when it comes to the warrior spirit, the military teaches people how to be technical equipment operators. They teach you how to operate that 240 Bravo machine gun. They teach you how to operate AH-64 attack helicopter. They teach you how to operate a mortar system, a Prick 117 radio, right?
What's that?
It's a radio. They they don't do anything that focuses on the warrior spirit. Coming in here where
Emotion.
we get
Emotion.
emotion. Yes.
Emotion.
I think-
Let's
Emotion
just
and
be
feelings and
honest.
energy.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Which is important.
It's the
Michael
warrior
Kozak.
spirit.
The
Yeah.
warrior spirit. But when you come in here on the mats and you put hands on each other and you roll hard and with like full effort, that build because now
I
you're
think
winning. You're
there's
winning and
kindness
losing.
here.
You are really.
Yeah.
You are truly winning and losing.
I think there's
Yeah.
kindness
And-
here and acceptance in a lot of different fucking
See,
ways. I truly think that's what's going
No,
on.
there is.
Because I've been to fucking gyms where it's hard motherfuckers, and then if you don't perform, you're fuck you. I don't give a fuck. That guy's a pussy. I don't. What do I give a fuck?
hey,
And then all of a sudden,
you know why? You know why?
Because
Those
they have
are
a
the
fear,
people. I've seen these guys a lot over the years, and I saw more of them in MMA.
Where's that cigarette?
If your goal, and now we're smoking weed, so we're gonna go deep, right? But if your goal is to be the best wrestler, the best competitive jiu-jitsu grappler, the best fighter, right? If that's your goal when you step on the mats, it's all about you.
only top.
That's what I'm saying. But and a lot of guys that are chasing a UFC title, they have to be of that mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be chasing that and say,
I want to build a team.
you know what? I'm going to step back from taking and I'm going to give to this new white belt with cerebral palsy that I can only dial it up to 10 because now you're not taking, building you, you're giving to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that when you give, it's detracting from yourself, right? Like, fuck, I could have got another round with Daniel in it, but instead I drilled with this fucking new person, right? Mm-hmm. But that's the biggest lie because you're telling yourself, I'm wasting my time because it's not hard. But what it is, it's hard to them.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
and it's hard for you to dial it back.
So you're giving that hard because we need that hard on the mats to grow. But you got to take it a step back from always looking for it yourself and give it to other people. And once you're comfortable doing that, I think that's where the magic happens. I honestly do, man. Because I see the toughest motherfuckers out there almost excited to pull a new person aside and not to get, I want a restaurant. It's not because I want a restaurant. It's because, dude, look at this new person that I saw Tyler grab that giant. You guys weren't here on Wednesdays because the Neanderthals don't train anymore.
We're all
Mike Kozak got his
we're all injured or hungover.
Mike Kozak got his black belt and I never saw him again until tonight, dude.
Your man's a painter now, buddy. Just you wait. Just you
The
wait.
season's almost over. I'll be back.
Yeah. You were fucking hurt forever, too.
Jordan's got to
Oh,
have
my-
knee
dude,
surgery
I'm
now.
fucking my back. my
Dude,
neck,
Cop
my
Jenny
all
broke
the-
my rib on October, right before deer season.
Cop Jenny is a different thing, bro.
Yeah. She just leaned over to
Officer
stand
Jenny.
up on me
Today-
and just boom. Broke.
Today is the first day in 2 weeks I can feel the fingers on my left hand.
Yeah, you told me about that fucking nerve, that numbness, which is, I told you, is indicative of a spinal injury. And you're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't even texted you.
Join jiu-jitsu, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, but bro, that's another thing that I tell people very often.
Starting jiu-jitsu at 40 years old
is tough. I can imagine.
Not a good idea.
You gave the perfect analogy to me when you said, like, I went from sucking at downhill mountain bike racing to being very, very good from 20 to 29 or something.
It took me a long time.
You know,
I did not pick it up easily.
And now from 29 to 40, you've continued to ride at times, so you can go hit the slopes right now at 43.
I'm a black belt on a downhill mountain
Yeah,
bike.
and so and you said if
we could ride a trail that takes me 3.5 minutes and you guys 8 minutes, and my heart rate at the end of the trail will be 120 while yours is 190.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no doubts, bro.
And that's do the opposite
So
on
no,
the jiu-jitsu mat.
but this is what you told me, though.
We could roll around and Mike will not break a sweat and I'll be fucking dying and he'll have submitted me like 6 times.
You said to me, if I had to learn the lessons in mountain biking that I learned from 20 to 23, from 40 to 43,
No,
I couldn't do it.
I couldn't take those hits because those crashes are on rocks and trees and roots.
I remember
And,
always
I can't-
fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Always missing patches of skin and
Yeah.
puncture wounds and
yeah,
shit.
Dude, Jen used to get mad at me because I would bleed all over our sheets.
Yeah, that's like, dude, that's a different kind of gnarly, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because I did a post the other day and I talked about the arts that I felt bred like the toughest people. And one guy wrote to me and goes, what about motocross guys? Because I didn't mention that. I said, I stand corrected. Because every motocross guy that I've ever met is a tough son of a bitch.
You can lump downhill mountain biking in with motocross.
Yeah. No, he actually said that. What about downhill mountain biking and motocross guys?
Yeah.
And I thought for like 1 second, and I said, yep. Because I know you did the downhill mountain biking stuff. Stanaway used to do motocross at a pretty high level. Yep. And I had another buddy that was professional when we were younger. He actually died on a street bike years later. But just
the reality
unreasonably tough, man.
The reality of those sports is you have to accept that at some point you will be injured.
Yeah.
And even the crashes that don't cause a actual injury, like a broke rib or something, like they still fucking hurt. Like you cannot crash a mountain bike at 20 miles an hour and go like, first of all, you have this thing between your legs that's made out of metal. So your center of gravity gets all weird. And then you fall like with one leg under it, one leg on top of it and smash the leg under it. And then you have your handlebars jabbing you in the abdomen and rupturing, internal organs or whatever the fuck. And I shouldn't say that.
You guys talking about my dick?
Yeah, I never ruptured an organ, but I would have these huge bruises like all over my torso that I'd be like, man, maybe I should go get x-rayed in case my liver is like bleeding into my fucking body cavity or whatever.
No, but bro,
I forget where I was going.
You're saying to learn that in your 20s is feasible. To learn that in your 40s is not feasible.
No.
And then you said, I bet jiu-jitsu is very similar to where like, yeah, bro, I got the gnarly fucking blue and purple belt days out of the way in my early 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those frantic rounds with 7, like I can take 7 spider monkey energy and I can just turn it to 1 and be like, not today, dude. Yeah. But you had to go through that
See his evolution.
To be able
to take it to that.
Yeah.
I
love 7 and he normally is gentle.
Dude,
and he gave me a hard round. Well, it was the night I hurt my shoulder. And I was like, holy fuck. It was like I enjoyed it actually because I got to see what he can turn it up to.
Bro.
And it was like, fuck.
He is my favorite.
He's like the nicest person.
For when people are visiting.
Yeah.
When people are visiting.
He's a wild card.
And I'll never forget. God,
You ever feel like Caesar and you just get a you just get a 7 to the court?
I always forget. I forget who the fuck said this to me, but someone was visiting the academy and they rolled with him and he came up to me and goes, "Bro, that kid's a terrorist." I said, "Dude, that's exactly who he is, dude. That's a perfect explanation of what he is on the mats.
Yep.
Because he's usually yawning while you slap him bump.
Yeah.
Like eyes are kind of
bored.
squinting. I feel he looks
Unassuming
bored.
as fuck. Looks like fucking Mowgli after a fucking 9 to 5.
Slap and bump.
He looks like Mowgli after a bender.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, it's literally like the slap, the yawn is still mid yawn during the slap. The bump happens,
And you're getting tossed.
and he gets, and it turns the switch to a Tasmanian devil on, dude. And it's a Tasmanian devil that has a gas tank that is, as far as I know, endless.
Yeah.
I've never seen the end of his gas tank.
Fucking wild.
And it's like, dude, everybody's just like, who the fuck is that guy?
Dude.
But he moves well, though.
Yeah.
Oh, he moves really
He
well.
has a style.
Yes, he does.
Like, and that's what makes it interesting is when someone's like, hey, this person's a problem, it's usually because they have a style that they just kind of go to, but they nail it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's fun to see people start from nothing and develop like style, individualism.
Yeah.
And create a game and foster that and keep moving. But it's like, it just progresses into a later game that you just identify him with.
And dude,
you just say Tasmanian Devil. It's not 7. This is their game.
And bro, he was one of our first students as a 15-year-old kid, and now he's 23. Like he's been with us for 8 years since the beginning, starting as a child.
He's only 23.
Yeah, dude, he's young, man.
Dude.
And like,
I know I cornered his fight. I'm like, hey, let's go have a beer afterwards. He's like, I'm not 21. I'm
can't,
like,
dude.
what? I thought you were like 45, second divorce, like 7 kids by now. Like I've known you for so long. You can't have a beer with me.
Hang
Bro,
on,
you know,
he's not 33.
no, he's 23. So dude, here is what makes his style.
Painful.
So we're going to go down. This is going to become a Jiu-Jitsu Chronicles for a few minutes because the reason why his style works so well, I literally try and emulate this sometimes. He has a 0% concern of trying a new move and it going bad for him.
Yeah. Just go
0
deep.
against the
Go
toughest dudes in the room.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going with Daniel right now who mauls me, but I'm going to try and open up with a flying triangle.
Yes.
And he's not just going to like dabble in it.
He's going to commit to it.
It's 100% committal to a new move that is probably not going to work. And he doesn't care at all. And he's been doing that for 8 years now. So now he's comfortable being reckless. Most people aren't comfortable being reckless. It's a very interesting skill set that he's divided. Me included, man. I am comfortable when the game is in a realm that I have some type of control over, regardless of where that's at. All right, now you're in my world. I don't want to be in your world. I want you in my world. That's like all of grappling, right?
Yeah.
7 is happy jumping back and forth.
Yeah. No, his all systems
but
go.
that's
Let's
because
fucking launch.
He's comfortable with the scramble.
He's comfortable with the scramble.
Here's a move. Do the move. Well, you're going to get resistance during the move. So the more moves you can be like, this is resistance, new move. Now different scramble. Scramble.
That's one-
He doesn't mind going in deep. Why do you think you throw a flying triangle? Because I want to get so fucking deep on you. Maybe I can get a hook, get your lapel, just get anything and cause chaos.
That's
people
one-
that embrace chaos are unique. That's where wild styles like come in. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, dude. I bet your guys' fucking rounds these days should probably be worthy of a pay-per-view fucking fee.
Nah.
You know?
Just hugging.
Just
hugging. He's fun though.
Yeah.
But it's like that's.
But he's
a brother.
100 and like what,
But
50 pounds?
you know what?
And I've been thrown around.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
But it's like it's crazy. I've been here long enough to see him as a little kid. I grew up no children.
You were
wanna
an
know
adult.
it?
You were a
I'm
male, a male.
Yeah, dude. But I'm like an only child. I never had like brothers or sisters, but people and friends and people you do things and growing up with. I've seen that kid and wrestled him from being a youngster until like it feels like almost 10 years.
Yeah,
now,
it's 8,
you know?
bro.
And so it's like to see him grow and develop and get his own style. It's cool. You get to watch and like just mesh with them developing their style. And all your job is now is shutting them down. That's it. But that's growth. That's my resistance and yours. That's why when we were talking earlier about like people calling you names or checking you on the job, That's what your job
Yeah.
is a person, is to like check people and have resistance in your life. What's your role? Don't get too arrogant. Don't get too sad. Come on, live your life. You're in this group. You're in this, this community. But that's what checking is. And we see this weird microcosm where you see kids develop into characters and men, and fucking Seven's married now.
I know.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that was a boy.
I feel like that
My boy. You're my boy, Blue.
I feel like getting to check people, right? Like when you're checking white and blue belts, the dial is met where they need to be met, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just socially acceptable. Purple belt and above, I can turn it to 10 whenever I want to.
Yeah.
And that's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, that's your fault for now having a purple belt.
Yeah.
Like there's no mercy.
How dare you put
Yeah.
that around your waist and not get fucked?
Like I don't care who the fuck you are. If you're one of my purple belts and I'm in the mood to take your fucking soul, let's go, dude. Like that's what it should be, right? You can't be like that with all the blue belts.
Not all
Angry blue belt,
And
you got permission.
Yeah, and certainly not all the white belts, you know?
But,
No.
but it's more of like it's like you got to put on your fucking oven mitts and like handle them, just kind of pat them down. You're okay.
yeah, for
You're
sure.
okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
for
Here's some
sure.
pressure. Here's some pressure, but I'm not gonna hurt you because I don't want to get hurt either. Because that's a fucking dangerous mix. Is a white belt scorn, dude?
A young athletic white belt is hands down the most dangerous dude in the gym.
Oh,
The
that's rule
fucking
number one of
knee
my
wreckers, dude.
like injury prevention program is I pretty much roll with purple belts and above.
Yeah.
Even if it means I get beat up every round.
You're getting beat
I
up by
get-
technique,
So
not
I get less injured.
yeah.
Yoga, cold plunge, staying away from white belts.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And we got it all right
Even
here
blue belts.
under one roof, dude.
Come train.
No, we got
Electric jiu-jitsu.
have any of you guys done the Sunday yoga yet?
Yes,
No. I
I did it the
haven't.
first day. Holy shit!
And bro, like
I meant to do it today. It's
I haven't put
Sunday.
anything out yet because she hasn't
Get out of
decided what if she's ready to commit to certain days or whatever, right? But we're gonna start incorporating some amount of yoga to the team.
Good.
And bro, like yoga is yoga meshes with grappling perfectly.
Yes, it does.
It's
Bro.
focusing on all those ranges of motion, not under tension.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
And
whereas
I've
grappling is the
actually
opposite.
set a goal.
We-
I have set a goal that I want to make purple belt, and then I may just completely go full yogi and never set foot on a mat again because I'm so tired of injuries.
Yeah, bro, I've said the same thing as a black belt. I said there's going to be a day when what's going to make more sense? Enjoying my last 10 years of life?
functionality.
Yeah.
or just considering to hammer myself into fucking dust
Yeah.
and feel miserable.
I want to make that one goal line, and then I'm probably going to just go do yoga and mobility.
well, bro,
training and
here's the thing. Once you're a purple belt, you can just show up
Yeah.
and just sit on the chair and critique people and not participate.
Talk
Like,
shit in the sideline.
It's like being a tab spec
yeah,
four.
it's exactly. Purple belt is a tab spec 4. 100% dude.
Oh, yeah.
Guys get their purple belt now. They just want to roll. They want to roll in at 7:01. Just want to get rounds in. Don't need to drill anymore. You know? No, that's funny, dude. Tab spec 4. Like enough rank to where no one fucks with you anymore.
Yeah,
But you still really don't
responsibility
know
either.
shit,
You don't
right?
really, yeah, exactly.
Man, I remember we used to say like, if your pay chart could go up as tab spec 4, like you still make the same amount of money as if you made it to E6, E7. Like,
Dude.
What are those ranks? You guys are talking about this shit, and for a guy like me, it's
okay,
like,
so when you are in Ranger Battalion, you are a private. If you do not have your Ranger tab,
equate it to belt promotion.
white belts, privates or white belts.
Okay.
Right? You're new, you don't know shit, you show up, and the tab spec 4 is
Purple.
a purple belt, right?
You have,
He's
like,
been
you
around
have-
the
You have
block.
privates
Yeah.
that have been there 6 months, and they're senior privates who are getting ready to go to Ranger School.
Those are your
They're
blue belts.
Yeah.
Kind of helping people along, right? But the you have to go through Ranger School. That's part of, if you want to stay in the Ranger Regiment, they have to send you to U.S. Army Ranger School, right?
Yeah.
Once you go through Ranger School and you come back to Ranger Regiment, nobody fucks with you anymore. That's your blessing. Like,
and
you've been signed off. You've
been signed
warrior.
off. You're here now.
The next rank above private first class is specialist. So you're immediately promoted to specialist.
So you're getting stripes.
Not stripes.
No, it's the last rank before you get stripes.
Okay.
And so it's a non-leadership promotion.
No,
so
I mean stripes is on a belt, on a white belt, on a blue
No.
belt.
You're purple belt when you tab spec 4 now. You're a purple belt.
Yeah.
So you have been blessed off as fully qualified, but you do not have any responsibility.
So do people talk a bunch of shit about those people?
No, it's considered the best job in the U.S. Army.
Okay, so that's why you're always like, be a purple belt. I'll be a purple belt for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because dude, a tab spec 4, to tell you the truth, we probably excelled at becoming actual rangers as tab spec 4s because the only thing we had to worry about was morning PT and fucking how many runs we got in the shoot house today. Yep. And it wasn't all the stress of, the floor's clean? Did I mop did I do the fucking beauty bark? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, once you're tab spec 4, I can worry about being a ranger.
Yes.
You know?
That's when the real...
I'm going to become a killer.
Yeah, that's when the real rangering started. And you also get to start doing some of the specialties like breaching or, you know what I mean? Or some guys go to sniper section. Yeah, it's sort of like you've paid your initial dues or gone through your initiation, your initial education, and now you're ready to go a little deeper.
Yeah.
And so purple belt is that.
Yeah, no, and I would say...
Or I should say you've proved you can hang with the big boys, and you're ready to like step into that level of what do you want to call it, operation or performance.
And then as soon as you're a tab spec 4, and I learned this the hard way, you're eligible for promotion whenever the fuck they want to. You know? Because, dude, I think I was only a tab spec 4 for 9 months. Yeah, it was short, man.
It was fast, TE5.
And I've told the story on the podcast a bunch, but Lieutenant Sadler just called me into his office when we were in Afghanistan, or into his tent. You're promoted to Sergeant Anderson. I don't want to be Sergeant. I don't care. We're in Afghanistan. There's something called a combat promotion. I can do whatever I want.
There's something called a combat promotion.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Just like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have the responsibilities of...
Then you're the team leader.
That fast.
At 21 years old.
Yeah.
I look at 21-year-olds in here now and feel like they're children.
I had
and we were leading...
21-year-olds are children.
But bro, I was leading... We were leading patrols in Afghanistan.
Life or death situations.
As an E6, as an E6, and just for Rangers listening, because they'd be like, you weren't leading patrols, you were a team leader.
The fuck we weren't.
In Afghanistan, we had the autonomy to be able to pull pull our teams and patrol alone.
A fire team.
Like I could take my team and a gun team and say I'm gonna go set in a fucking
the early
patrol
days
base.
Cool. The early days were cool.
And they'd say, have fun.
Yeah.
You know? At 21, dude. That's fucking
That's
what
nuts.
It's always been.
Yeah. You're right, though. That is what it's always been,
that's
dude.
Korea, that's World War II. It is always the young
it's even
men.
younger than that, dude.
Yes.
You know?
But that's what war is usually fought with. There's not a lot of 40-year-olds. Boys, ready? Yeah. I'm going to take a nap first.
Yeah, but this is what I thought about. I was thinking about this the other day because... what would it take for me to raise my right hand and say I'm going to lead the charge against the enemy of this nation, right? If something was so egregious, and I'm not saying like either internal conflict or external conflict, like whatever picture you want to paint, if anyone at this table said, hey, we need to draft the fucking young men because we need this, we'd lead the charge ourselves first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I would never feel comfortable calling to send young men to war if I wasn't willing to go myself.
The only reason I still keep myself in shape and I showed up at a jiu-jitsu gym in the first place is I still think I need to fight one more.
I think there's 100%.
One more coming, and I think I need to be able to fight it.
Yeah. No,
It's
I agree with you, bro.
Because my kids aren't ready.
Whew.
And I have a son who is very defiant and drives me up a fucking wall, and every once in a while he makes me smile to myself, and I think, you know what, when I'm too fucking old and decrepit to do this motherfucker is going to be John Connor.
Yeah,
because he does not take he does not take direction from anything or anybody.
Isn't that our goal as parents? Like that's our sons should be fucking leader of the resistance.
Yeah.
Every single fucking one
yeah.
of them, dude.
Yeah. So when I'm about to pull my hair out, I always remember this is the kid who's going to lead some sort of resistance someday.
So kind of playing off of that about how like our leaders are never, it's very easy to sit in some auditorium and fucking raise your hand to send the fucking military off to war. Like that doesn't take any courage.
No.
Right?
No.
And they know that it doesn't take any courage.
They sure act like it though.
Oh, of course they do. You know, until January 6th.
You know, I'm gonna call a ceasefire from fucking Chicago.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
God, dude.
Why don't you ceasefire in your own goddamn city before your fucking ceasefire and fucking?
But dude, if so,
You see that fucking shit?
I
Oh my
text
God.
Andy for sale. I said, bro, when you're president, something that we need to get legislated is this. When Congress declares war for any reason, that their names go into a big old fucking drum.
Yes.
And 5 of them have to be deployed to the front lines during the duration of the war. I'm not even saying you got to be a door kicker because I'm not expecting you to go, but you need to be the liaison that is on the front lines of the battlefield as the liaison back to Americans because you voted and said it's so important your daughters and your sons may necessarily have to give their lives for this. That's how important it is. Why wouldn't you want to be on the front lines?
That's incredibly reasonable.
100%. 5.
Like that's
Yeah,
fucking,
just
that
5.
does seem very reasonable.
that's exceptionally
And
reasonable.
bro,
if it's important to you, go.
And I actually think like if I was one of those congressmen that's like send them to war, I'd be like, I want
Yeah.
take
absolutely.
one name out of the
volunteer as
take my
tribute.
name out of the drum because I want to be one of the 5.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deploy and leave my family. I did that for a decade of my life. But if I were to say, yes, our young kids have to go to this, but I'm not going to go, that's where everything fell apart, dude.
Yes. Well,
That's where it all,
that's
like,
leadership
dude,
versus
military
dictatorship.
leadership since the Neanderthal times until what?
Yeah.
World War II.
Until I got in
The
Enlightened.
generals were in the shit, bro.
Yeah.
They were mixing it up. They were present on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And bro, like you can't run a battlefield,
Kings had to lead their armies in battle.
dude. And sometimes it was even like, no, don't. And they're like, you don't get it. Like, this is how I gain the respect of the men, you know? And now people just fucking, I've said it a million times. We've let the weakest, most incapable insects of society somehow fucking weasel their way in to controlling
And it's all
the
through-
men at this table.
because all of a sudden
Power.
Yeah.
It's changing.
It's
though.
just
You can-
power.
You can feel it changing.
all of a sudden
Read
you're,
Wrath of
you're
the
not,
Wendigo.
you're not allowed to grab somebody by the fucking throat and tell them fuck you.
I know.
What the fuck
Hey, dude,
chance
which is what we've done
since the dawn of time.
since the time we were insects.
If I could pick up
Like-
a bigger rock, you're fucked. And now,
I don't know.
now
I've seen William Wallace.
that's gone away. That's gone away.
Should have remembered the
rocks.
rocks.
Hey, I should have.
But dude, like,
Hey, but guess
again,
what? That motherfucker who picked up the big rock, best fucking friend.
Dude.
We needed him.
you need
Jordan, you're our Angus.
I'll fucking pick up that big rock, throw it at my head. I'll fucking rape you.
I say it all the time in relation to the mats. On the mats, everybody knows where everybody's at. I know what kind of a round I'm going to get with you.
Yeah.
And you, and everybody else, and they know what kind of round they're going to get with me. And because we all know each other, we don't have to pick up rocks anymore.
No.
We did it out there.
Yeah.
And now, win, lose, or draw, just knowing where everybody stands is like, oh, cool. It's relaxing, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And we have taken that out of society. Like you said, whoever can pick up the biggest rock, like, fuck you, right?
Yeah.
We want that as humans. We want to know where we're at in the pecking order, where we fit into the niche. It's a good feeling, man.
Yeah.
But that's what those motherfuckers in the middle of traffic that are giving you the bird and fucking
Yeah.
like stomping on their brakes. If they're trying to figure it out,
And they don't-
they think
They- yeah, you're
think
right.
That's it.
I know.
They think, guess what? I'm the big dick.
Yeah.
It's like, if I fucking drag you out of your car, you're fucking dead. I had a little Indian guy, a little fucking Indian motherfucker, fucking Like, hey, guess what? It's not a fucking asker light. It's an indicator light, and I'm fucking coming over, motherfucker. And I fucking merge. I merge left because guess what? I'm not going 405 south. I'm going fucking I-5 north, and I'm not changing my fucking direction. Yeah. So I get over, and this cocksucker just is like, and he beep, 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 beep.
Oh, dude, don't honk at a man unless you're willing to fight him.
Oh my God.
That's my rule in my car.
I shouldn't have done it. And I fucking, to this day, this was like a year and a half ago, I'm fucking still fired up. I shouldn't have fucking stopped. I should have plowed this motherfucker. But he gets over. He fucking starts giving me the lights, the light show behind me and fucking honking all the whole shit.
That's some Indian
dude,
shit,
motherfucker, I've been here since I left my house at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get home.
I'm just trying to go home.
I'll kill a guy. Yeah. And he fucking does that whole thing, and it's like there's plenty of room. I get over.
Michael Douglas and falling down.
He speeds up the whole 9. Then he gets around me, gets in front of me, brake checks. Oh, God. And I thought for one brief second, I go, just hit him.
Yeah.
Just hit him. Yeah. Get him on the side of the road. Get this motherfucker to stop.
Yep.
And I regret I didn't.
Yeah.
I regret 100% I didn't because
you'd be in jail, though.
This cocksucker does this. He hits his. Oh no! It would have been worth it if I would have fucking done this. To this day,
that's why I love Jordan.
To this day, I feel like you fucked up in this. If this opportunity presents itself again, I'm fucking doing it,
bro.
I didn't have the forethought of this. Like, this is
what I want you to start doing. Pull out your phone, take a picture of his license plate, and then we do our homework, and then they go on the list.
He made the list,
bro. Because
8675.
Bro, hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is probably too much information for the podcast, but Mike Kozak got me stoned. So
no part of
just putting people on the list gives me a little closure.
Oh, dude, it feels so good,
and bro, because I have a list.
So do I.
Everybody does,
and a
lot of my foremen are on.
I've had people fuck me over in the last couple of years to where like there's not two sides to this argument. You just, I'm going to fuck this guy over. Yeah. Now you're on the list. All right. And guess what? Here's the beauty of it. The list for all intents and purposes is a Christmas list for cards until the apocalypse. Then then the list context, it changes. And by that time,
so if you're getting a Christmas card from the Andersons, watch the fuck out. Stand by, motherfuckers.
I'm not giving you my new address.
But bro, just having that little piece of my heart saying, the motherfucker's on the list.
Yeah.
I can be at ease knowing what might potentially be his future.
Yeah.
This guy stuck his hand out the window.
Did he give you the patience thing?
No,
it's patience.
He rubbed his fingers together.
The
oh, is that what that is?
Patience.
Oh, I thought it was like, hey,
it's fuck you, and it's like, hey, have patience.
I thought it was like, hey, pay me money.
No, it's like, fuck, like,
it's fuck. I should have fucking rear-ended that motherfucker. Next time, I'm putting him in the goddamn grave. Dude, fucking I-5 south or I-5 north to where it turns into 405 south.
Dude, just wait there. Just wait there until you see his car again.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw rocks from the overpass. Oh, there he is.
Dude, and I've already told the stories about, I've had a couple road rage incidents that actually escalated to physical violence, and it always feels so good. Like it feels natural. Like that guy drove up and flipped you off, and I flipped him off back. He said, pull over, and I punched him in the face. And bro, it feels right, and it feels natural. Like
my dad and I got in a road rage incident. Shit you not. When I was like 16,
pull over, motherfucker.
16, 17, some guy followed us on an off ramp. Gets over. He thought my dad cut him off. My dad pulls into fucking little deli mart, fucking whatever that I'm getting delivered to my fucking buddy's houses, the neighborhood, and some guy gets out of his truck. He boxes in, and all of a sudden I see my dad fucking rip off his seatbelt because I had no clue what was going on. I was I'm in the passenger seat.
He's like, oh shit, that dude I cut off is right behind me now.
No, he didn't. Well, whatever. Fucking doesn't matter. My dad gets out and he's like, fuck this. Rips himself out, and I'm 16, 17.
So a full-grown man already. Probably 200 pounds.
I'm
wrestling for 12 years
189.
now?
Okay.
I'm 189 and I'm fucking ready to rape a guy. And, my dad gets out, fuck this, rips his seatbelt off, and all of a sudden this guy in a truck pulls up behind us and boxes us in so my dad can't get out. And he's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" And it's like, "Oh shit, Dad's like, we're getting into it." And I thought,
You didn't know your dad was a "what's up, motherfucker" type of guy.
oh no, I knew. I knew. My dad was fucking ready to go. And he sees this guy and he's like, "Let's fucking go." So all of a sudden the fucking guy he just started talking shit. And this is this posturing shit. And then there's fucking.
Did the dude get out?
He got out. No,
It's go time.
They get like to where, I'm like, this shit's gonna pop off. Oh my god. And the guy's like, fuck you. And my dad's like, after talking about this to my dad, he was like, I just thought like I'm with my kid. I want to see how he's gonna do. What's he gonna do? And I'm like, I'm just fucking ready to watch a fight. And then all of a sudden, like the guy fucking's like, fuck you. And my dad's like, there's fucking cameras everywhere. I got all my kids here, like this whole fucking thing. And the guy gets in his car and he goes to drive off. And my dad, like the guy's like, you took it like a bitch. And he was like, I'm still standing here, motherfucker. And all of a sudden, and the guy fucking runs at my dad. And my dad just drops and fucking just rips him one. And just, like, this guy's like, oh, buckles him. And then as soon as it was like, oh, fuck, I grabbed this guy and fucking threw him over the hood of the car. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. And it was like this big, like, and all of a sudden throw him off. And he's like, oh, okay. And you could tell my dad, okay. He didn't want to fuck around. And it was like, oh shit. And he jumped back in his car and he's like, fuck you. And fucking drives off. And I was just like, looked over at my dad and he was like, you good? Like, are we going to like have fun? Like,
so
have a good day.
We getting burgers or what?
Yeah, 100%. It was just like, oh my God. And then like, it's having a moment because the guy realized I just fucking talked some shit, pulled over, and this man and his son are gonna fucking rape me. Yeah. And I gave him a way out. I was a nice kid.
You keep saying raping. Yeah, there's a lot of raping of other people.
Very rapey in here.
It was
you have road rape.
Road.
Well, and it also another man. That's
road rape with another man. I'm
sorry,
dude.
Yeah, but that's because if they want to get fucked by you, that's their problem.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to get fucked by you, now it's really their problem.
Well, never mind. No, he was gonna get hurt.
That's
I was gonna hurt him really hard.
Frank, what's his name? UFC heavyweight champion.
Mir.
When Frank Mir
snapped that guy's arm.
No, when he rolled with Damian Maia, he goes, dude, I'm a black belt world champion.
Human backpack.
Heavyweight black belt world champion Frank Mir. He goes, I didn't know that level of jiu-jitsu existed. He could hold me down and butt fuck me if he wanted to, and I couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Well, so it's the ultimate level of humiliation.
Checks out.
Like, if I can kick your ass, that's one thing. If I can hold you down and rape you.
Well, I mean, that's what I feel like as well. So
I just get where your fixation comes on.
Thank you.
I'm on your team.
Thank you. Yeah, I would have raped that motherfucker.
Mir was an animal. I remember going to the UFC live event at one of the bars, and it was Mir versus Brock Lesnar. And when
the one he lost or the one he won?
When he won it the first time, when he got that heel hook or knee bar or whatever he got on him, dude, the bar went nuts because it was like this freak show WWF guy is going to enter, you know?
Yeah.
And so many people were like, oh, because casual fans were that person at the time.
Yeah.
Like it was an underground
That was a good time to be watching fights.
But I'll tell you this too, man, because like fun. For all the people that were like, Lesnar is just a WWE guy. Dude, it wasn't fucking Diamond
Lesnar
Dallas
was a
Page.
Fucking savage.
That's what I'm saying. A high level fucking collegiate standout grappler.
Yeah.
And now he's making millions of dollars doing something else. But make no mistake, that's fighting, dude.
Yeah.
You know, how many guys in the early, like fucking Matt Hughes, Mark Coleman, like there was a army of just wrestlers had a lot of fucking success.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Just background. Absolutely.
A fucking Lesnar, like,
It was at Minnesota. He wrestled in Minnesota.
so.
Dude, they found him at some fucking random tournament and he fucked up some like national champion or something. And they were just like, holy shit. They looked across the gym and you see this fucking like freak of an athlete, or just he looked like a bull. Like the muscle of that motherfucker, he looked like a bull and he just was ripping somebody apart. And they're like, holy shit.
there's talk of him coming back, as always.
What do you think?
I mean, fuck, he's as old as me, right?
Yeah,
Over
but
with it.
you don't. Hey, dude,
43.
Go to Japan. Do it on that. Go to something where you promote.
not as good as he once was, but as good once as he ever was.
I want a Brock Lesnar at. See, that's the nice thing about fighting, though. It's like if you kind of learn MMA, you can learn striking and you can learn grappling and you can learn the areas that you like to grow and find your own little paths and stuff. And if you could take a Brock Lesnar and give him an MMA background and let him blossom, it's like that's how you create a real athlete.
Daughter.
But where's the money for those athletes? It's in either theater, like a Brock Lesnar, which is also he has to work out hard for it, or it's real sports. And money is not involved with fighting.
Well,
Like boxing has money, but the rest of real fighting doesn't have money in it.
Unless
So it doesn't get promoted much. UFC's
unless
great
you
for it.
are like upper echelon.
yeah, you have to be the top fucking 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
And then you got a couple guys making $1 million a fight or something now.
Yeah, still,
Dude,
That- I mean,
boxing,
it
how
doesn't
much
equate.
did Conor McGregor
Oh, I
make
know.
for fighting?
How many fighters do you
Mayweather,
know?
100 grand or million?
How
many-
100 million.
How many fighters do you know that have fucking actually gotten their fucking teeth kicked in
Couple.
for $300,
Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
There's no
we used to fight at the fucking
The armory.
the Everett Armory for no bucks.
yeah, just for fucking free drinks. Give me,
Fucking crazy. Well, dude, we're at 2.5 hours. So we're gonna wrap this up. Bet you didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
that one.
feel like we should just keep going.
People are just gonna keep listening and listening and listening. But I wanted to have you fuckers on, so I'm glad we did it. We should get more high next time, though.
right.
Let's just
We'll set
right
a
out of
goal.
the gates.
We'll set a goal.
Just get ridiculous right out of the fucking gates.
Called it.
I feel like
All right, I'll put all your shit in the show notes below so everyone can find your podcast because it's a lot of this. You guys have fun and fucking pound beers and shit. Most episodes,
it's
right?
just banter. Never.
Well, the gym smells like beer every time after
We're
you record.
scholars.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Greg.